Bright light, bright light. I'm awake, I'm awake, I'm alive. How's it going? Oh boy, a lot of stuff to do today. A lot of stuff to do. But we're in a good place. I got everything working. Close some of these things. Some of these windows. Had a couple little breakthroughs on the signal. I got everything working. Very happy about that. Where did my... Oh, that's where my monitor window went. I was like, where's my chat? All two of my viewers. Jeffson, thank you for continuing the sub from It All Costs Money. I appreciate that greatly. I do. That was over the break. I'm gonna cough. Oh man, I gotta get back into the swing of things. I spent the whole weekend locked up with this problem. What's up, Tim? Spent the whole weekend locked up with this problem. Desperately trying to get progress to be made, so. I have a little piece of orzo salad. I do, yeah, there it is. A little piece of orzo. Need some cucumber. I don't know. Made this orzo salad. It's got a really good dressing. Really, really good, but orzo's a little bit carby, so I had a big bowl of it. Goes down way too easily. Good stuff. They're hitting up the Julian playlist. It's good kind of backgroundy ambient. It fits really well, actually, to be honest. I need to get my head together so that we can work on this thing. This wonderful thing in front of me. Don't look like much, but it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. There's been a lot of work going into this thing. That, like right there. Bring that out a little bit. They don't have a strictly off-limits monitor anymore. There's the programming screen. Hey, nothing's working. With the programming behind it. Oops. There you go. Classic view. I don't know if I want to turn this one into one of those 3-scene ones where I'm a little smaller on the screen, because I'm actually kind of rather large on the screen right now. I don't know if I want to reduce that, because I definitely want people to be able to see hand positions when I'm working on things, but this is like strictly the PC view. I think it's better for me reacting to stuff if I'm opening it up in a browser window. I don't know. Man. Can't get my head on straight today. I don't feel like I've woken up yet. I had coffee, did all the other routines that I normally do. So I should, by all means, feel awake, but I don't know. I guess I don't have a ton of caffeine. I'm drinking diet water. Diet water. Absolutely nothing in it. Yeah. Just the, you know how you start up your PC and everything's a little clunky at first. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. Everything's just everything's getting used to running. I made a tuna salad last night, which is always a mistake, right? Ate a bunch of tuna salad, very low in carbs, but there's a lot of bullshit in tuna salad. And I made it with a tuna that was in oil instead of in water. So it was delicious, but I think I shot myself in the foot in terms of like feeling okay today. All the heavy metals. Get my mercury on. So this thing's almost ready to go. We're 99.9% of the way there. We need to put some of the components together, get it onto my chair, like lashed up against my chair, and put the control box on the pedals. Got everything working now. Everything works. Maybe we can pack in some wires too, because we need to, like this thing. Right now I have the pedals connecting to the steering wheel, which is backwards. That's backwards. So I might have to make a wire or two. Just to, we need another plug on this. These are starting to get a little weird. Yeah, those will be permanently plugged in, so we'll be able to screw those two together. Those are the ones that get plugged and unplugged. But I need to do another LIN bus plug here so that we can plug the pedals into it. But the LIN bus is a bus, so it's just literally going to connect to everything else the same way everything else is connected. Be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I need to get a haircut. What is going on back there? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm at that weird, awkward phase of like hair being too long. I need to like keep the camera angles from showing the back of my head. The mullet is starting to form a little bit too much. I think maybe tomorrow one of my big goals is to actually go out into the world and get myself trimmed. Get a little trimmy going on there. I don't know if I can do something after stream. I don't know when the haircut place closes. Let's find out. Open that in a window that you guys can't see. I don't want to get doxxed. It's the wrong one. I specifically searched for the other one, and then it gives me the wrong one. 6 p.m. Yeah, all right, so definitely not. Not unless I ended stream and jumped into a car. What? What are you talking about? Nothing's working. What is? Hold on. Wake up. How have you not been privy to this over the past months of my working on this car? Clearly, that is a stock Mercedes BMW branded entire airbag that I've put into the airbag hole with detonators and everything, because I'm perfectly comfortable with that. Come on, man, think a little. It's just a cover. It's just a piece of rubber that I had that I just put on there to keep it from being this gaping hole in the middle of the wheel. I've said that 1,000 times because we always get comments like that. Why is that BMW wheel airbag? What? What are you talking about? What are you, dumb? What are you, dumb? Are you dumb? What is that little face that he has over there? There's no airbag. It's just a thing. It's just like a cover that I have. It's just there to just cover. Because the Mercedes airbag is like $300, and I'm not gonna go buy an airbag for this. I just happen to have this one from swapping wheels around on my real cars. So that's what we use. It's just a piece of rubber. Just a piece of rubber that just wedges in there, just to keep it from being looking like it's all ghetto and stuff. But like there's pieces of foam sticking out of it. All right? There's like little pieces of foam sticking out of it. No, I came across the BMW cover from swapping wheels around. I bought originally for this project. I bought an E46. I think it was an M branded wheel. No, it was not the M branded wheel. It wasn't the M branded wheel. But my car had the M branded wheel. I sold that car. I swapped the wheel out, the steering wheel out, and so I had this M branded BMW wheel, and I put my current car's airbag in it. It had an airbag. I did like some airbag swappy doodle around stuff. I forget exactly what I was doing there. I think I had to buy another airbag or something. I don't know, but in the course of it, I basically disarmed the E46 airbag, and then I got the Mercedes wheel. So I had this disarmed airbag. Didn't have anything to do with it. So I just took the rubber cover from the front and I put it on this car, or on this wheel. I don't think these break. These bust out. They flop off to the side. I think they don't have like a break point in the middle or anything. Usually it's like a chamber that kind of breaks open, but I don't think these break open. These specific ones, the E46 airbag. So you can find, I think you can find the covers all day on eBay. Let's find out. Can't type. Cars have a lot of airbags, huh? Impact plate? What is that? What is the impact plate? That sounds dangerous. Is that the impact plate? No, that's lower trim. Yeah, I guess they're harder to find. But I mean, it's just wheel covers and stuff. These are like stupid. You can get, I guess you can get the whole steering wheel for $500, huh? I would love to be able to find the thing that covers the airbag, but they're, look at that. Oh God. Ah, man, the brand tax is just, it's frightening. Steering wheel, SRS, $300. Ay, ay, ay. Man, it ain't cheap. What's up, Turboned? I am trying to wake up for the stream. I feel like I still have a pillow over my face, but we're gonna get this thing ready to go today because tomorrow I need to clean up around my desk area, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday we'll do my summer car. I'm gonna play games instead of doing projects, and that'll be a little bit of a veritable kind of reset button on the stream, and then we can start actually working on some of the other projects that we've got going on here. But I want to give the wheel a good send off, you know, and then we'll bring the wheel back for you know, subsequent my summer carring and stuff like that in the future. But yeah, so we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. We're gonna get our percolate on later this week. First, we got to do the work. We got to do work. You'd have a streamers race. Yeah, something. What, in Wreckfest or something? When I plugged the wheel in, I did not do better, and I would be in last place. I will tell you that right now. The kill you is calling your name. I know, I'm a kill you millionaire. That's how I make all my money in the game. Doing kill you runs. We could try to do a kill you speed run and see how quickly I can get to the junkyard and to well, we already moved our uncle into town, so he lives in town now, so it's going to be a slightly different different path. But we will probably stick to back roads though, because I don't like driving on the highway in that game. It's boring. Boring. But yeah, I can't hold a candle to any of you guys, especially Groovy and Shorty. Usually with Groovy and Shorty, I am in third place with those guys when I'm on a controller, in for instance, Wreckfest. But yeah, I don't know if we could get Rabaz to dust off Wreckfest for that, but he certainly isn't going to plug in his wheel. I don't think he knows where it is anymore. He lost it. He completely lost his wheel. And his marbles. Yeah, that's your uncle, right? Yeah, uncle. You drive him home, and then he eventually bestows upon you his newfound riches. And if you're lucky and you choose the right spot to look, you can find his briefcase full of money, and he tries to kill you. Yeah, that's right. Uncle lives next door. This is cousin. Is that right? I don't know. You're related to like everybody in the game. Yeah. Is Joko just a friend? I think he's just a friend. But yeah, I keep him alive for the sole purpose of the fact that I need him to pay me money for Kill You, because it's a renewable resource. And the trunk, the suitcase might be full of unbestowed riches upon you, but there's something about games like that where if you take the easy route, it kind of ruins the game. So I want to keep that task. I want to keep him alive. Purely for capitalistic purposes, I can get more than 5 million out of him. New Vegas, but with good AI. New Vegas. You can mod the ever-loving crap out of that game. Although you probably already have. What even approaches New Vegas? I mean, in terms of like Fallout 2, like you could just go play Fallout 2. I don't know. I know it's a departure in terms of, you know, how the game is structured and it works and stuff like that, but there was some Fallout 2-ish clones that I meant to play and I never got around to. I know a friend of mine was recommending that. But yeah, in terms of like role-playing experience and like build-up and stuff like that, modded Skyrim maybe, Elder Scrolls mods. I mean, I know I'm keeping it in Bethesda, but Iconic Bear, hey, thank you. Thank you for the 33 months. Water chips in my shelter. Yes. I love the fuck you vault that's just filled with water chips. It's just filled with Gex, and you don't have any use for them. You're just like, wow, really? I've been wanting to give like some of the more modern. Yeah, Michael Dorn is all over that game. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You gotta love a good Michael Dorn voice acting gig. But yeah, I wanted to try give Fallout 4 a try again, because I got caught in the building stuff and I loved it. But I never even played the plot of that game. I just built stuff forever. Outer Worlds is not. Yeah, I've heard lukewarm stuff about Outer Worlds. Outer Wilds, on the other hand, but Outer Worlds I've heard lukewarm stuff on. Seems like 55% of a game. Oh god. Yeah, I haven't even touched that. I've been meaning to get back to Fallout 4 because there's a lot of good mods for Fallout 4. There's some you know, very transformative mods for Fallout 4 that sort of make it a much different experience. There's also some pretty insane New Vegas mods, including ones that I've seen where it's like, what is it, like months or years after the events in New Vegas, and the whole area has descended into lawlessness and complete anarchy, and so you're going around basically just killing everybody you see. You just kill everything, which I don't know if I enjoy as much, but Elden Ring modded with multiplayer co-op. Yeah. You mean that, oh crap, what's the guy's name again? The guy who did the Halo, you know, the long warthog and the hog and all that stuff. There's some great stuff in there. All his YouTube videos. Moving windows around and looking. Oh man. Yeah, I actually have not played any Souls games. I don't know what they're like. They're not fun to watch. I'll give you that much. My express and personal opinion on those games is that they are extremely unfun to watch. Maybe if you've played the game, it's a little bit more fun to watch it because you've got sort of an idea of what the player's going through. But in terms of me sitting, working on something else, and having somebody play Elden Ring on the other screen as a bit of a brain distraction, you know, to keep me from burning out, it's not good. Because the games, you know, Bloodborne suffers from this, Elden Ring. It's not pretty. It's just bland. It's just like a gray filter over everything. Like I might as well just put on like heavy sunglasses or welding goggles and It doesn't. It's just, I don't know. It's just this monochrome blandness that I don't really like. What is he doing? I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I think he's up in New Hampshire on a lake. Ask me how I know he's on a lake. Dark Souls 3, not that good. It's just boring. I mean, I don't know. There's a certain well, let me ask you this: what games have good AI from your perspective? What do you like? What? And of course, I have screeching synthesizers in the background to frame that. What would you consider to be good AI? Because there's all kinds of different game, systems and AIs. Not to put you on the spot or anything. RDR2. I never played that, so I'm not sure that I know, but yeah, what sets that AI apart from anything else? I mean, GTA AI. What's special about that? I don't know. Is this just gonna be like random? Hold on. Yeah, let's find something that has a little bit more structure than just. That's a little better. What's up, Captain Terrific? Talking about game AI a little bit. What games had good AI? Because New Vegas is apparently lacking, and we're looking for something that's a little bit more comprehensive. And I'm wondering if maybe if you got a mod, because there's 10,000 mods for New Vegas, right? They've modded it into a completely different game. Maybe just maybe, you could find something that allows you to tweak some of the AI in New Vegas. Maybe that would help. Because yeah, Fallout, Bethesda, Elder Scrolls, etc. AI is, hey, what are you gonna do? They built a very big world and they made it work pretty well. They did everything they could within the sort of their own technical prowess in order to create a very good game. But people who mod are fucking geniuses. So Thief, amazing AI, jumps on table. Jumps on table. Where did he go? Wait a minute. Where is he? He's on a table. I'm gonna plug in my insulin pump right now. It's low in battery. I'm gonna be switching over to the new pump soon, guys. I've got one box of supplies left, and that's sort of when I get into that box. That's when we need to switch over to the new pump, and I think I'm gonna do that with you guys, because what we need to do, because it's a medical device, they're not allowed to provide me with software for it. They're not allowed to provide me with software, and that's not the professional company. That is the open source super duper insulin pump stuff that technically minded diabetics have come up with on their own, right? So we're going to be using that. We're going to be using that system, that sort of Android. Hold on. Android auto pancreas stuff, right? Which means I'm going to have an incredible amount of customization ability. I'm gonna make this look like the other window, like this. This is the other programming window. I think I need to make this one look like the other one, because I think I like it more. I like having chat in their own thing, and then the hand cam. I don't know about putting it on top. I think I'll put myself on top on this one. So yeah, let's work on that scene just real quick. But anyway, because it is an open source project, they are not allowed to provide software, like compiled software. Wow, what's up with my hair today? They're not allowed to provide me with a compiled piece of software that'll do everything. So what we need to do is we need to install the Android tools that will allow. I keep flipping scenes. Why am I flipping? Stop flipping scenes. We gotta stay here. Chat, you guys are going up here, and then we're gonna take a little bit from you. Never forget what Father took from you, chat. Try that out, and then color source. Oh, no, I'm moving the wrong stuff. I need to put the shaded box behind it. So I need to grab, that's that one, right? Yep. So you're hiding the audio tools. Hide them away. You got a little bit more real estate now. And then I'll make myself a little smaller over here. All they do is, yeah, really, they're that limited. All right, sorry, I'm just copying your chat box over here. Probably make you guys a little bit bigger. We'll do like that. This is gonna make it easier for me to use Fusion and stuff on this computer. Well, that's the thing, is I can enhance the software if I need to. That's the cool part, is that I'm able to customize the software and I'm able to use better, more comprehensive, hold on 1 second. I'm doing two things at once, so paste the duplicate, move that to the back, and then we'll do one of these. So what I'm able to do is basically we need to install the Android, like, you know, not APS, but whatever it is, Android Studio, right? And then I will be able to alter, what's going on here? Oh, I see, I can't. Do this though. And then I'll be able to mess with all of the stuff in the pump. I'll finally have the amount of control that I've always wanted with that kind of stuff. So we need to actually like compile the software on our own. How do I get it to not snap? Shift. No, shift is still snapping. Control? Yeah, control. Okay. I am in control. Oops. And I keep moving the wrong thing. OBS, like, I have so many layers going on here that I'll click on something and OBS is like, sure, yeah, you clicked on that. And then it'll just like, it won't be the right thing. All right, so this, we still need to rearrange the sizing of everything. It's not quite, it ain't quite right. I mean, I don't want to totally limit you guys, but I might have to. I like for you guys to be on screen. Oh, that's wrong. Chat backing. Grab that, move it up. Just try to see if we can just squeeze everybody in. Face cam. Quite, huh? Oh, make it a little bit smaller. Yoink. And then that one. This is where OBS really needs to let me zoom in, because it's very hard to align stuff within a couple pixels. Yeah, you guys are getting a little smaller. Yeah, I can't wait to get this system running. The only problem with it is that it holds less insulin. The one that I have holds 300 units, whereas this one's gonna hold 200, which means I'm gonna be changing it out a lot more. Or I can actually fucking watch my diet for once, eat less, and use less insulin, which really is what it's all about. That's what I really need to be doing. So, I think it'll be good. It's going to be a little haphazard, but... What's up, Chester? Alright, these will be a little uneven, but yeah. At least we get more real estate on the screen now. And I think it's a little bit easier to see what chat's saying, what kind of rude shit they're saying at me. And we get all of our cameras and stuff, too. Now, when I use Fusion 360, I'll have 5 more pixels to work with. And I'm a little bit smaller on the screen. My face isn't covered in text. Yeah, that's all right. What do you guys think? I don't care what you think. What do you guys think? I don't care. I don't care. I'll have to make it more even later. I don't, you know, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. Curvo's Bane. How you doing? Yeah, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, so I got everything working. I'll get into that maybe for like a minute before I get bored of talking about that. That one's off. There we go. Doot 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 doot. Oh yeah, start soon. Bop. There you go. Julian says he has a bunch of material, like new sets and stuff to do, which will be pretty cool. Yeah, we gotta figure out when he'll be in here. I think he's gone this week, and then next week he's around. So, and I gotta get demulleted. I'm starting. I think I can do a programmer ponytail, a pro gamer ponytail. Yeah, I'm just about it. Programmer ponytail, which I hate. Waiting on an order of Halo sensors. What are Halo sensors? How'd you end up finishing your power supply last time? I see it was almost done. Power supply? What are you talking about? No, that's nowhere near done. We gotta work on that. That's one of the projects that needs to percolate back up to the top. We'll get there. We will get there though. Yeah, the power supply and the water cooling for the computer project. I'm nervous about it. 750 watts. Right now, a 750 watt EVGA power supply is working on the computer right now. That works. But when I do some more, slightly more taxing games, making some noises that I don't like. But I think it'll be okay. So far, you know, I haven't been able to throw an application at it that has made it go and then die, because I've disabled all of the overclocking stuff that it does, right? There's no overclocking on that machine. That machine is meant to survive. That's a survival machine. I want it to be top of the line and viable for as long as possible. That's its entire purpose, right? So I've disabled all those little things that'll cause like current draw spikes, even though they are pretty prevalent in the modern graphics cards. These spikes in current draw, where it'll suddenly, you know, take like fucking 800 watts. But LPS used to squeal. It lasted years before I gave it away. This one makes that electronic scraping noise that you get from like capacitors that are being utilized fully. And it's a nerve-wracking sound. Like when you hear it, TurboNAD probably knows about it. Some of you might, like if you operate your computer at like balls to the wall and then you lean in and you listen to the power supply, you can hear like a yeah, it's a horrible, terrible noise, but I don't know if it's coil whine, it's something. The power supply modules that we're putting in will make similar noises. GTX 970 is the whine from day one. Yeah, whine is terrible. It's the weird scraping noises that you get that are nerve-wracking. They sound like something's about to explode. Sometimes when things make that noise, they are in fact about to explode. But I don't know if that's the case with the 750 watt power supply that I have. I don't know if the 750 watt power supply is capable of going a little bit over that. We looked at what all the voltage levels are on the power supply, and it can do 750 watts at 12 volts as well as high amperage on all the other voltages. So the 12 volt rail is 750 watts. Everything else can also run simultaneously at those. We can't do that. We are 750 watts only on the 12 volt rail. That is filling me with fear. I don't know if I need to put a bunch of capacitors on the 12 volt rail. Probably need to, but EVGA is a good company. Their stuff works and they've got good customer service, and then their stuff suddenly stops working. My EVGA motherboard, we were able to actually observe it failing at a LAN party one time. I brought it to the LAN party and I was like, that's weird, something's not working. We rebooted it and we enabled stuff in the BIOS and disabled stuff in the BIOS. And as we were working through it, one system wouldn't come back on, and then another system wouldn't come back on, and then another system and another, and then it was dead. So it was like a cascade failure of the principal components involved in the motherboard. It was like, oh, now we don't have memory. Oh, now we don't have this. Now I don't have that. we had to run out and get a replacement motherboard. So far, the Strix B550i that I have in the current machine, doing good. I've got some problems with it though. I've got some problems with it. It will randomly, not really even randomly, it'll go to sleep at night and reset. And it does it at the most inconvenient times, because it didn't do it last night. Some nights it doesn't do it. Some nights it's perfectly fine. If I lock, if I like enable the lock screen, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't been able to correlate that as well, because it'll just reset. Like sometimes it just doesn't like to go to sleep, and it just and usually that's like a driver's thing. Some people blame the power supply for that, but people don't know how much love and care I put into the power supplies of my computers. So I don't know what it is. Maybe a setting somewhere deep in the registry. The coin cell on the board should be okay. It's only about a year old. And it's funny, they're getting lazier and lazier with those BIOS batteries. They're getting so lazy with them. Like nowadays, it's just a shrink wrap thing, and they just tape it to the motherboard. They're just, fuck it, just tape it to the board. I don't know, you shouldn't need to like ever replace those, right? Not really, not on a 2-year-old board. It's a 2-year-old board and it sat for about a year, so. I am enjoying these little bits of ambient work that Julian's been putting up. Sorry, Zelkovich music. Zelkovich. With body and mind. We're gonna get him in here at some point. I just placed one on my 2010 PC. I don't. If that's the problem, I will eat my hat. I don't have a hat. Not today, anyway. We'll get started in just a minute here. 10 to 15 years for a replacement. Yeah, they're like long haul batteries. They use like atto volts of them to keep your BIOS alive. I don't know why we're not, I guess it's the system clock. I don't know why we're not writing stuff to flash nowadays. Why are we still in the days of having to keep your motherboard alive in that way, right? It whines about time being wrong if it boots flat. Yeah, can't they correct this kind of shit? Like, why do we need to have a battery on our motherboards? I don't know. I'm of a mind that I want all of my PC components to be configurable and reliable, like separate. Like I want to have to shop for a Northbridge. I want to have to like find what sound I'm going to be putting on the board or not if I'm going to have an external sound card. Right? Like I want to pare down all the components, and so Mini ITX was like brilliant for me. Okay, Satan, calm down. Mini ITX is brilliant for me because it chopped out a lot of the excess. Problem is, you got to pay more now for the Mini ITX. Like the full motherboard is a lot cheaper, and it's got all the stuff. I don't want all the stuff. I want it down to brass tacks. I want a skeleton PC. I want a processor and a video card and like one stick of RAM. And I want it all to clip to the board, including the hard drives. I don't want any wires or cables anywhere. No wires or cables. I want everything to plug in together and have it, make it out of Lego. Just make it Lego bricks. Or that shitty, that idea of having the, yeah, Steam Deck, pretty cool. $700 though. I can't afford it right now. But the, what do you call it? That phone that you could build your own phone with all the different components. The dumbest idea I've ever seen. Yeah. Who thought that would be, oh, I want a strap-on battery, and I'm gonna put in a GPS module and this module and this module. Bro, phones have everything right now. They're fine. Some people have been making the phones larger so they have more battery finally. But people thought that this like configurable phone would be the shit. It's like dumb. It had to be one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen. Stream Deck gives me a sore neck just looking at it. My elbows are tired because I would have to. Hey man, I love that Valve is out there sticking their neck out and saying, hey, what if we just had like an open environment? You know, like I don't care what you do with this. You could put Windows on it. We don't care. This is a piece of hardware that's going to play games for you. And it's like, all right, cool. I'll do whatever I want with this. Like that in and of itself is just a beautiful statement these days. Like no closed, you know, they're opening the doors. There's no closed environment for it. And as such, you could just go get another drive for it and put in a bigger hard drive. Like you just do that. It's beautiful. Yeah, I find myself supporting them more often than not. I like what they do. Oh, but you can do 20 USB ports and 6 monitors on the Stream Deck. You just need to have the breakout thing, the USB-C. I've never seen configurable laptops. I've never paid any attention to them. They seem cool enough. I had a Dell laptop that I wanted to put a more powerful processor in, and I had the processor. It's sitting in the drawers right below my water. Hey gamer, hey chat. How's it going? I guess you can call me a gamer. Ugh. It's like slimy. It's like a slimy term. I have to like wipe it off. Like ugh. But yeah, I've tried to swap a new processor into like a Dell super laptop, because there was at one of the places I was working, there was a Dell laptop that I guess one of the agents had like run over with a car or something like that. Everything was broken in it, but I was able to get the processor out, and I'm like, hello. And so I tried to put that into my own computer at home, and turns out the BIOS doesn't support it. And if the BIOS didn't support it, you just straight up couldn't use the processor. I was very disappointed with that. There were no hopes for mutant laptop builders back then. There was a guy in some of my classes, Drexel EE in the early 2000s, because I'm a dinosaur, chat. I'm a dinosaur. I went to college when the internet had just been invented. Anyway, so there was somebody in my classes in the early 2000s, back when everybody was like making Flash animations for everything, right? Because Flash will be around forever. But there was somebody in my classes who actually did build a mutant laptop, and he was that kind of person who would show up with just an open mug of coffee. And I have to say, I did see him spill it at one point, because who brings an open mug of coffee into classes? Why would you do that? Why? What is wrong? Like, what happened to your brain? What happened to your brain? But yeah, this fellow, interesting fellow. I probably should have spent more time talking to him. But he built a laptop that he basically just trash picked. It was cool. It was a cool machine. It was a very rickety looking thing, with like a different kind of keyboard and like. But it was a laptop. I mean, he got it together, but it definitely looked like, you know, an amalgamation. It looked like a movie prop, basically. You know, the movie prop where you go, oh, this guy's really smart. And what it is a bunch of monitors that the production people have taken apart and put all together and just put some stupid visual on it. And you can still see the Windows or the Apple media player controls on it. Now, difficult to find compatible parts. That's what I ran into. Yeah, a little bit later on, out of college. Because I had the processor, I had the motherboard, everything seemed like it should have been compatible. No BIOS. BIOS didn't agree. There was no version of the BIOS that had support for that processor, even though the hardware fully supported it. It sucked. It sucked. All right. Song's over. I'm over. Music is over. I'm canceled. Goodbye. No, let's get into it a little bit here. Let's get rid of the start soon. What are we doing today? I don't know. I feel like I woke up under the bed. I have been working my little butt off trying to get this stuff to work. This programming crap. We're not going to be doing programming today, but I wanted to show you guys how much work I put into this fucking thing. I did a bunch of define statements in order to enable and disable. Yeah, I have a lot of scenes. There's a lot of stuff we do here, and depending on what we're doing, you know, sometimes you want to have like the face cam active with whatever's going on here. If there's like a bit that I can do that's comedy, Sometimes I want to have the microscope in a slightly smaller thing and then show you guys this view. There's a lot of, you know, like only this scene, only this. Actually, I need the color bar for that. Hold on. I don't like, God, I look puffy today. See, that one, I need the video monitor to be up on the other monitor for that one. Because, anyway, hold on. Let me just copy. I'm still settling into some of the newer, some of the alterations that I've done for the streaming setup. Settling into them. No, why did that go in there? Get out of here. Okay. Yoink. And yoink. There you go. Cool. Yeah, anyway, programming. This is a new scene. I've sort of rearranged the windows in their locations so that it doesn't look like I am, you know, looking down at the black mirror at the like looking down at a cell phone in order to control stuff. This just has more of a natural look to it. Anyway, this piece of programming here. This combines a lot of stuff. This is a very large program. We have a two one-wire potentiometers. We have an I2C port expander. We have the LIN bus, a local interconnect network bus running off of a little, whatever you call it, a little UART chip. So this stuff runs off a little UART chip and it's able to pull LIN bus accessories. And then we straight up just have a serial packet engine that comes up to function, goes through a whole start sequence, and then is able to press buttons on the SimuCube universal steering wheel motor controller. This stuff is crazy. This is how I was able to turn garbage into actual car stuff. There was a big breakthrough in this, and what we were seeing last time, what you guys remember, seen the Pico Pi W. Yeah, I have seen it, and it does look like it's a really cool, like, little piece of thing. I'm not going to be buying it because I already have the Pico Pis. I don't know what they're capable of, and I haven't had time to look into it or even use one yet. But I would very much like to mess with the Pico Pis. I just don't have anything for them yet, right? Yeah. And an ESP, yeah, the ESP is very capable. It can probably do very similar functions. But yeah, anyway, so all this stuff coming together, finally got it working. Where we left off last time, you guys might not remember, but where we left off last time, we were pressing buttons on the thing, and while it was pressing the button, eventually, it thought that we had an encoder plugged in. And so the encoder would be giving ones and zeros in order to select like a thing. Well, that's the default. That was the default layout. That's what the default settings for this board that I bought from the company are. 2 encoders, 16 buttons. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, well, that's interesting. I mean, how do you get one that's all buttons? I mean, what we could do is have 2 modules that come up with all the settings and then get themselves registered. And that's like a lot of work, right? That's a lot of copy paste programming. The example that they show on the website is 3 modules connected. It's kind of incredible. 3 modules connected. That's like a lot of work to go through. It could work perfectly well, and I could get that up and running and working within our code. Because remember, our code is wired. We're not wireless. That was one of the principles of this thing. I didn't want to have more wireless accessories. I'm not a huge fan of everything being wireless. So what we've done is we implemented the LIN bus, and then we have this plugged into the TX and the RX pins and pretending that it is a wireless module. So I could pretend to be multiple wireless modules in order to access these buttons. But before that, you know, we had everything working and running. Why not? Okay, so we had everything working and running, and there's a couple things that I don't understand about how this thing is coming up to speed. So while, you know, the thought was, hey, was it worth it to get, here, I need the other view. Bop. Was it worth it to buy that other wireless module? And absolutely yes, because the stuff that I found out in here, some of the packets that were being exchanged, I didn't know what they were. And there was data in there that allows us to now manipulate what that controller is. Granted, Devices says, first of all, you need to be a manufacturer who's going to be selling these button plates, right? First, you need that. You need to be a manufacturer. Then you need to get our specific software that's going to configure the SI Labs module to have something like, you know, more encoders or more buttons and stuff like that. Well, some of the curious exchanges that we found on that digital line have given way to the secrets that are contained within. I can pepper my language if I want, because I worked very hard on this. There are certain parameters that are exchanged that have an effect on those buttons, and what I was looking at is the process by which this device registers itself. What it does is it scans for a characteristic value, and it gets two small packets, and then it exchanges these two absolutely enormous packets. It does 4 different things from the same command. It sends 15. I don't know what the 15s are doing. That's still something that I don't know. It'll send a packet that says, hey, set this characteristic value number 15. And it goes, all right. And then it says, hey, what is this characteristic value 17? And so what I found in that data, you can see here, to register 2A number 1, 0 is set to 1, 1 is set to A, no. 1 is set to A, 2 is set to 0, 3 is set to A, 4 is set to 0. So if you look at all that compared to itself, 16 of these registers are set for 2, 0x0, 2. 4 of them are set to A, and 4 of them are set to 0. Dun, dun, dun. That is a pattern. And that is a pattern that mirrors the functionality that we've found from the book, from what they say. What they say is that the default is 2 encoders, so 2 4-pin devices, that's 8 of the pins, and then 16 buttons. So what I decided to do was whip up a different signal return, and instead of saying 0A and 0, they all just say 2. All the registers are set to 2. And in doing that, all of a sudden, all the inputs are now buttons. All of my locations in the packet that were supposed to be either encoders or buttons, they're now all buttons. So we've altered it. We've altered how this thing responds to a signal. Yep, that's reverse engineering. That is the magic of it. And I'm glad some of you, like 4 of you, are actually on the same page with me. It's basically, we mimicked the device, we looked at a pattern, we saw something is happening here. I saw 16 different things that were marked as 0, 1, 2, 3 to 15, right? All the way to 1B. Now, the thing I still don't know is it goes 0x0D, and then it just stops. Like, I don't know how it's defining D and B in this. I still don't have one button that does anything. The push to talk button doesn't work. I don't know what's up with that. I could be looking at the wrong part of any of a number of packets, but what we have running here right now is an incredibly complicated system that did not need to be this isn't needlessly complicated. This is exactly how complicated it needed to be in order to perform the task that I wanted it to perform. It's a very engineering kind of thing to have, but at the same time, this is a lot of work, and a lot of stuff went into this. What's happening here is we took a device, the Granite Devices SimuCube controller here. I want to get us out of the programming realm. Let's get out of programming zone. What we did is we took an existing piece of hardware. We took the Granite Devices SimuCube controller, and we evaluated how many inputs it has, and realized, excuse me, Orzo's salad is making me burp. We took the Granite Devices SimuCube controller and we built a system around it, right? We had no way of getting button presses from the steering wheel other than taking it apart and rewiring all of the buttons. But all the buttons were multiplexed in a weird way. So we reverse engineered the steering wheel, spoke its language, faked being a car in order to ask it what the statuses of the buttons are. it returns with that value. We took that technology and we made all of our other devices into LIN bus accessories so that we can have a 3-wire bus running around on our simulator setup. That's all good, well, and configured. The motor's all configured. All of the parameters are in there. Everything is tuned. My analogs from the pedals are coming in digitally and being translated into analogs again using those potentiometers. But we were out of switches. We didn't have enough button inputs on the stock Granite Devices controller in order to get all of the buttons able to be pressed within the simulator. It's kind of disheartening to have buttons on your steering wheel and you can't program to do anything, right? I was like, oh, I could set my e-brake to the OK button. Oh no, the OK button doesn't work. The left button, I think I programmed. No, maybe the right button. It was bad. So we now, well, okay, so at that point, we bought the Granite Devices solution for additional buttons in this system. Man, you can see how puffy I am. I got a lot of salt last night. Anyway, the system that Granite Devices uses in order to allow you to have multiple wheels on your simulator and multiple different buttony things is Bluetooth Low Energy. So all these Bluetooth Low Energy things just exist in space, so they don't have to buy connectors for everything, right? So all of these Bluetooth Low Energy devices exist in space, and this device will get configuration values from the base station, brings it up to speed, looks for anything in the area that can connects to it, and then gets button presses or encoder locations from those devices, right? Hold on, I got a cough. Piece of Parmesan in my throat. Okay. We took that system, observed it, monitored it, wrote it down, reverse engineered it, programmed a microcontroller to be it, to fake being it, to fake the entire process of a pretend module responding to wireless signals and then serially connecting to a base station that knows it. We did all of that in the microcontroller. So now, when I turn this thing on, this thing does this whole process of getting a wireless module up to speed. It pulls the LIN bus to get the statuses of the buttons pressed and the pedals and the shifter, and then it basically presses the buttons digitally and tells the potentiometers what value to go to in order to communicate pedals. That was a bitch and a half to get together. I mean, honestly, like going to just open source wheel stuff, downgrading to that would have been easier, but I wanted to do this. This is a flex. This is me flexing on the internet, basically. I probably need to make a YouTube video on this, don't I? But like, we did it, right? This is my victory lap. My victory lap is this week. We're going to be playing My Summer Car. We did fuck projects. We're going to do My Summer Car this week. But we need to button all this stuff up together now. So in order to get this thing like fully realized and finished and whatever, I need to put the wires away. Where was I? Well, hold on. Where was I going with the original explanation? I was basically saying, you know, we got all that information together, and then at the very end of it, there was the last little like trick throw from this thing was that suddenly the buttons weren't exactly the right buttons. And so all of that information, all the stuff that we figured out and we know, it's just interesting that I had to go through it again and go, wait a minute, what about this thing right here? So yeah, this is rough, man. Pyro! Don't let me interrupt you. Well, that's like a catch-22. That's a fundamentally, you've in doing so and in not wanting to interrupt, you've interrupted. It's too late, man. Anyway, no, we don't do blinker fluid. I actually had a car that had blinker fluid. It was just a bad seal, so there was water in the thing. Anyway, so yeah, actually, you know, there was blinker fluid in that my car had the thing that washes the lenses in front. So there's technically blinker fluid was a thing. There's headlight fluid, really, to be honest. Anyway, real car accessories, huh? One thing that I would like to do in the future, and now that I know how to define if the buttons are encoders or not, is to actually put the lighting controls on this, because I have lighting controls from a friend's BMW. He upgraded his lighting controls so that he had the ability to tilt his headlights up and down. It's something that the European models do. The American models don't. So I have an American model lighting control panel that I would love to put right here, as well as a key switch and an emergency stop. Those are things that I kind of need. I don't. The emergency stop being up here is difficult to do, but sleepy eyes. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it allows you to do a little bit of the control, because when you put like a big load in the back of your car, you know, your whole car is gonna tilt differently. My car now, my station wagon, is purposely built to be the most station wagon in existence. So it actually has airbags, and it will adjust its height depending on how much of a load you have in the station wagon. It is a very station wagon. Oh yeah, the flip-ups. A friend of mine had a Fiero for a little while, and we wanted to, instead of doing like sleepy eye flip-ups, I wanted it to be like a lighting column that would just keep lifting. So it would go up like 2 feet. It would just be like, they'd just be like giant, like a snail stalk eyes, and it would be nothing but lights. So you'd have your high beams and your higher 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 beams. It would just keep lifting. Okay. Yeah, the modern car design is like, if you would like to change a light bulb, you are going to have to drain the coolant, put the car in the service position, which is where you undo the whole front and it hinges outward. For more comprehensive stuff, that's great, but well, at least my generation has a shitload of space right behind the headlights. I don't know, LED headlights, man. You know, as cars move towards all LEDs, which they already have, I'm just a dinosaur. You don't need to change the lights ever. Like, there's no need to get to things. You don't have to get to them anymore, because you never have to replace them. They'll outlive the car by a century, and they use about like a billionth of an amp. It's great. LEDs rule. All right, let me free up my multimeter. We need to put all these components together, though. We need to make this thing into a big viable system that I can just plug in at my other desk. And then tomorrow, I'm going to spend my time... Get... Stupid magnet. Tomorrow, I'm going to spend my time cleaning up my desk and getting it ready for all this stuff. So... BMW halo lights. I want that system, and I think legislatively, isn't there like a loophole for them now? I want the BMW laser headlights, the ones that they like keep from blinding people that are around you, but they give you this brilliant amount of light. Those things are cool. I want them to be able to draw targets on things. I need to hack them. I need to hack them to do that, and maybe target people's eyes. That way I can make them purple, and I can drive around with these purple headlights, and nobody will be able to see. I had to do that, by the way, for the LED headlights that we put in my car, the E39. You guys were here for that. We did a bunch of modifications. Do I already have another project in the pipeline? Oh, that's rich. I have like 12 projects, man. Yo, I don't know if you know, being somebody who works on projects, you might not be familiar with it. But the project pipeline is like it's like a culvert. It's like a sewer culvert that's clogged with wet wipes. Yeah, the pipeline's overflowing. It's like that. It's like those GIFs of where they expel all the mud from a pipeline. That's the project pipeline. It is always like that. There's no escaping it, and sometimes you forget about projects, and it's a mercy killing. It's a mercy killing. The RC car project, for instance, is something that I would love to have time for right now, but I don't. There's always something new. Always something new. Called nesting. No, it's fractal. TurboNad put it best. Fractal storage is one thing, but we're talking about like fractal project queues. Yeah, the projects that we have coming up next after the wheel are Burn the Subs, which is like the project around here. Burn the Subs is the project around here. Burn the Subs is that thing on my wall. Like a year ago, my buddy and I went out to bumfuck PA. I don't know where the hell it was. I forget now. We bought a live edge board from this guy that just sells live edge stuff. It was actually kind of cool because like it wasn't really a bumfuck place that we went to. It was actually a very nice place. And he did like live edge like benches and had just like a general kitsch store, but it was like a higher class kitsch. It's sort of the kitsch that they like, you know, find like an old gas can and they refurbish it and put a light bulb on it and then sell it for $80, right? That's the kind of place that we were at. But he did a bunch of stuff with live edge, and he had a bunch of live edge that wasn't sealed. And he was like, well, since you guys are buying something that's unstained and blah blah blah, I can knock off a bunch of money from it. He knocked off like a couple $100 off of the piece of wood. It's still way too extensive. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I could build a bench out of it probably when we're done burning it with a laser. But what this is Burn the Subs. It's an XY laser etching table that I've stapled to the wall. That is going to be run by a Raspberry Pi, and it's going to be running Clipper, which is a departure from how the previous one worked. And it's going to be using I think an MKS Mini in order to control the stepper motors and the laser. And basically, when somebody subscribes to the channel, their name will be punched into a queue that will eventually be burnt onto the board. That's how it works. But we're doing a whole overhaul on that thing. We're doing things a little bit differently. We're still water cooling it because we don't have any self-control. We need to figure out how to seal up the 3D print so that it doesn't leak. That's ongoing. And then we need to basically just get all the hardware together, and then the software is going to be kind of extensive. We're going to have to use a plugin for Clipper and an API in order to get the probably G code over to it. And then the art aspect of the project, I have an idea of what I want out of it. We're going to do same size fonts for gift subs. All gift subs will be in a single line Hershey style font. It's going to be the same font. It's still going to be Avener because I like Avener and I'm going to continue to use it. And then the people who subscribe, like pay for their own subscriptions, are going to go as a bubble font. It's still Avener, but it's an outline font. These are fonts that I've had to go into and create and tweak myself in order to get them running properly. So that's Burn the Subs. We've got a couple other things too. I just need to remember what they are. We need to finish fixing my mill because I need to do the case for this camera. I bought a Kurokesu case for that one. But I don't want to give up autofocus or the electronic focus that's in there because I have buttons on the Stream Deck that allow me to. I got a really good flow here for focusing the cameras and doing all that stuff at the same time. What's up, Copper? So I want to keep that. So we need to machine out a little bit of the Kurokesu case. And unfortunately, my mill, the X-axis, died. So we probably need to take apart the mill at some point and take a good look at that. I need to finish the rack mount streaming PC. That's just a front cover that I need to design in CAD. We've got my water-cooled, hyper, super duper, ultra technological power supply mega project. That's an ongoing thing, but I don't know. It might actually be damaged. It might have been, you know, I didn't like professionally install the DRO axis, so it's possible that maybe the glass rubbed in a spot, or it could just be a wire that went bad. I don't know yet. We haven't had a lot of troubleshooting on that. The behavior that we saw is that the numbers would twitch and stop counting up. So, whew. Okay, so we need to get LinBus into this box. We need to get LinBus into this box because as it exists right now, we've got this entire platform down here with all the pedals on it and everything. And this would be a brilliant spot for me to actually put the controller. So here, let me unplug everything. But yeah, the whole thing works. There's just a little bit of lag on the button inputs. But the big breakthrough was basically looking at the registers that were being defined and not allowing Granite devices to tell us how to live our lives. Basically just looked at it and said, you know what? I wonder what happens when I change this. And when I changed to that, it worked. It all went together. and all started functioning properly. These prints were kind of the little cases that I made for these. I should probably revisit those. Probably should revisit them. All right, I don't want to overstress these wires and have them break on me. All right. Excuse me. I'm slightly under the weather today. We'll see how things go. Package delivery. What are you getting? What are you getting in the package delivery? All right. Oh, why is that loose? Holy shit. I need to tighten that down. That's like a major structural thing. Sitting here wrenching on these pedals. There, get some light too. It's gonna be hot today. It looks like it's about to rain. Hopefully it rains. All right, let's see here. I need to tighten this up a little bit. This we haven't looked at this hardware in a little while. This is the pedal box. This is a LIN bus accessory. I made a board that uses an AT-Tiny85, and it reads from a digital load cell, as well as reading the analogs from the BMW gas pedal and a magnetometer. So there's like three different that's two different sizes of bolt. Wow. What was I thinking? I'll just make sure that that's tight, because this right here is where all the force goes. It's where all the force ghosts are. Yeah, so I have every method of figuring out where a device is, like twist. Every single method. Every single method. This thing uses capacitive stuff. So like your iPod, when you're turning the volume up and down, that's how this thing does its job. It feels exactly like a BMW gas pedal, because it is a BMW gas pedal. I am you. Reminded of that Skyrim meme. This is a BMW gas pedal. It is a digital device. It's perfect. The brake pedal, however, is a physical device. And what we've done is we've modified a load cell. Where is that? It's like way in there. I've basically mounted a load cell to the back wall of this thing. And then I have a spring plunger that is 3D printed. It's made out of PETG. The force on this gas pedal is not exactly your maximum force when you're driving a car. It's a little less than that. And I want that because I don't want to break this. Jeez, these cables are going to pop off, aren't they? They're going to... I need to package this whole thing up into a thing. So, I mean, that's basically what we're doing today. We're going to do a little bit of wiring and stuff. But yeah, so the brake pedal has give, which is very, very loose, but then you press up against a flat surface. So hopefully it feels a little bit more like a real brake. I'm not sure. That was something that I said good enough and we moved on. So I may need to come back to this and make it feel a little bit better. Maybe I can put more foam inside of the plunger to make it feel like it's squishing something. But then the clutch, I've got it to feel almost exactly just like a normal clutch. The way we did that is by strapping a piece of 80-20, of scrap 80-20, a right angle, a shoulder bolt, and then a spring body. And it's quiet. It has that little kick over that a clutch has. So I can rest my foot up against this, and when I kick it over, that's when it actually starts depressing the clutch. It starts telling it stories about its childhood, and it gets depressed very quickly. Now, I press it all the way down to the floor, and it feels like a normal clutch. It feels like the amount of force that I have to put into my normal car clutch. So I'm super happy with that. The way that we get the position is just with a couple magnets that are taped on, and then a little magnetometer over here. So there's no contact in that, but I don't know. Simple enough, right? So we've been able to tune all of this stuff throughout so that all the analogs are coming in nicely. All the digitals are coming in nicely. I would like to put the base on this piece right here. So this piece right here is an old shelf for my keyboard. I used to put my computer on this shelf. I had a glass piece that went on this center area. The current footrest, where my heels will be able to rest, is actually the former top of my computer case. So my computer case used to be made out of metal mesh speaker grill. Well, it's a pretty good heel plate for me. I could just put my feet down on that, and I shouldn't probably punch through it, but it's just maker beam that I kind of tagged down I kind of just put it down with a bunch of bolts on the very edges. But this whole unit, this entire unit right here, I'm trying to, man, there's a lot of explanation today. This unit right here, this whole big piece of hardware, will just simply attach to my office chair. I don't really have like a racing chair. I don't have like a pit, you know, that I can operate this stuff from within, and I don't want one. I actually wanted this system. So when I use the wheel, I will clip the wheel and the shifter to the side of the desk, and I will attach them with these two cables, and they contain all of the signaling, all of the connectivity that I need to everything else. So I want these two cables to be the only things that I need to move back and forth. So we need to connect all the rest of this stuff to the base. Whew. That'll attach to the chair. And then when I put this in storage, of course, all the cabling and stuff like that will be able to be stored with this. On the chair itself, I also need to add this piece. So this is just a little thing that'll just grip the rail, and I can put the rail up against this, and it'll fall against that, and then I can manipulate the bolts in it. It'll just allow me to more cleanly attach this thing without a huge struggle, because in the past it was a huge struggle. So this unit, now because this is a laser power supply, actually the lid is what contains the mounting bolts. So I'll have to figure out where that goes. I mean, I guess I could just sling it under here. How am I going to get to that? How am I going to even get to that? I mean, putting it over here would probably be better, though. If it was... Well, the power switch is right here. That's why putting it like either like that or like this. Because if it's under this on the other side, I can at least get to the power switch moderately easily. Yeah, I think it has to go there. I mean, putting it here would probably be better. Putting it like right here. But I don't have any way to like mount it. I don't have any like good... How's that supposed to work? That's gonna run into stuff when I try to... Yeah. So like right there. Yeah, I don't really think that's gonna work out. What are you guys thinking? I think the only good way is to mount it under the floor like that. Well, yeah, it'll be under that. Yeah. It's just really inconvenient for me to get to right now. But yeah, it'll be under that, and then the power switch, I guess I'll have to like reach under it in order to flip on and off. That would mean that the cables... Where are the cables exiting? I guess that's okay. Here, I need to get a liquid because I'm starting to hiccup. Oh, I'm caught. Problem with using a mic cable in your setup. Give me my cord back. There we go. Now I can move around. So yeah, there's a couple things that I'm going to need to do Wednesday, which is, you know, we'll finish this up today and get this all mounted and put together. And then Wednesday, I'll do the cleanup of my desk and get this thing on my chair so that we can mount that. Yeah. You know, I don't need two cables up here with the steering wheel. Not yet, anyway. I can just do one long cable here. Oh, no, I need two. Yeah, it needs to go into the front. Okay. Yeah, so that does need the Y splitter. This one will go into its own, so we need a different wire here. And then I need to put that little box somewhere. So if I'm not doing the control box, like, literally right next to this... See, the thing is, like... because this thing is now connected on the base, I guess I could have kept the analogs. I didn't need to have the digital... Well, I did for the load cell, but the digital reading of the analog stuff, don't need. Because I could have gone directly in. But I guess I do kind of need that. I do kind of need it still. All right, let me get this out of here. This connector holder. And then we need to put I guess we'll just put a 3-pin JST on the base station itself. so that I can access stuff. Why are you not unscrewing? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Come here, stupid thing. It's there's like a plate that's bolted in over here that I'm trying to undo. Here, we can do this. Unplug the XLR. We're not going to do XLRs since the confusion might be. Extend the power switch. I guess I probably should put in an emergency stop, but I haven't been able to do that yet. I haven't done that yet. Put a nice E-stop on this thing. Okay, I'm trying to do a little, trying to release this bracket back here. It's not cooperating. All the screws are like stuck. Okay, I need a pair of pliers. Hop, hop, hop. Hop, 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 hop. Yeah, it's kind of the victory lap of this project. I can't believe we got it all running. My only concern is how slow it is to hit the buttons. There's like a there's not a significant, but there is a delay. There's a noticeable. Well, probably won't notice it when everything is functioning. Like in game, I probably will not notice that when I'm hitting a button, it's happening like a couple milliseconds later, because they're steering wheel controls, right? They're not supposed to be snappy. And then the analogs are pretty damn snappy. Those are the ones, these are supposed to be the snappiest part of them all. And it is. And then the shifter, I mean, you know, I'm going to be throwing it into a gear and it'll be almost immediately detecting it. So that should be perfectly cromulent. But yeah, it seems like it has just a little bit of input lag, just because of all the digital systems that are talking to one another. This thing is an absolute fucking bitch to get rid of. My God. I've got like a connector on this thing, and it's being blocked by the bracket that it's on. You guys can barely see it. I mean, it's still there. It's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. Can't even get to it with a friggin' ball end. Come on, buddy. No, that's too small. Yeah, it needs to be fully uninstalled. Yeah. What a bass-ackwards fucking thing. All right, here we go. Herp. Haroop. Aroo. Oh, here we go. Now that's twisting more easily. I need to like twist it by the wires. This little connector was just kind of like it's kind of like a stopgap for connecting to the wheel, because the pedals were connected to the wheel and then the wheel was connected to the base station. But now that I've got like this big frame right here, I might as well put the control box with the pedals, and then that, I mean, it's just slowly, you can see the slow progression that this thing is undertaking in order to become a fully realized sim pit, right? Like I've been rejecting making a sim pit, and yet at some point I'll be like, oh, look at this chair that I found, look at this racing seat that I found. I just need to modify that into this frame, and then boop, suddenly we'll have a sim pit. I've been trying to resist it though. I've been trying to resist it because, you know, you put all this effort into the sim pit and then you use it and you're like, that it's not really worth it. You know, I'm going to end up using it and just being like, I don't think I like this. You know, that's what's going to happen. That is the order of things. That's how they all work. Kind of like when I first got the steering wheel working, I was like, this is actually making me worse at games. It's actually making me worse at games. All right, so let's figure out putting a connector on the base station itself, because then we can fully button up the base station and I can attach it to the rest of the frame. I just wanted to get all that cabling out of the way. Oh yeah, that's exactly it too. I mean, look, I am under no pretense here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Good thing that thing's strong. I'm under no pretense here. I'm fully aware of the fact that building the pit is more fun than using it. That's, I mean, you know, there's no doubt about that. The act of building it is far superior in terms of your personal enjoyment. I could make a little circuit board that bolts to this and has a little connector just sticking through this big square opening. That's probably the only good way to do that. I'll just put a header on this one and this one, and then we'll just put a board behind that, and then I can have the 3-pin JST connector, which isn't a panel mount connector, but that'll just sit right there. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. This one's blocked by the Granite Devices board. And this is the very necessary breathing hole, because this fan is going to be drawing air in and across all this stuff, I think. No, never mind. It draws air out, and so all the cool air is coming out of this thing and going directly across our driver board. Okay, so we want 2 standoffs and a little tiny PCB. What do we got? What do we got in the shop here? We got all kinds of PCBs. All kinds. Well, kind of want to use up some of this crap that I bought. I need to go out and buy more scrap boards, because we are kind of running out of them. I'm running out of scraps, chat. I don't know what to do. Starting to wear thin. Well, I guess I could use that piece. Might as well. Only problem is it needs to be very, very tightly cut out, because the connector for the motor is like right there. So we could use that. Flip it around this way. Oh, it's gonna be hideous. It's gonna be ugly as hell. We got like a green board that I can put there. What do we got in green? That one. Ah, that is the right size. Maybe we'll use this. Maybe we'll use this. So that's just barely the right size. So if I just give it, what, 4 rows. Yeah, give it 4 rows, and then we'll clean it up a little bit. Do some filing. I haven't done this in a little while, huh? 4 rows of this guy. Wait, 4 is bad number 4. I want a center. I need to have a center on this, so we'll do 2 on either side. I think that'll fit. We'll do 5. So I need to cut the 6th. It's right there. Then I need the entire width of this thing, because I got to drill the holes on the ends. That'll be our little connector board. We can just bust that up with everything else. So I'm going to clean this up, because these edges are absolutely hideous. We don't need the whole thing, but we should at least just make it look a little bit more professional. So for that, I use a file. I use a physical file. We can just drag it across the file a little bit here in order to make our little daughter board. Build a whole car. Basically, I just need to strap wheels to this setup, and it'll be a car. It'll be a car with the heaviest steering wheel ever. Oh my God, having a pasta salad before streaming was not a great idea. My stomach is like, hey, you need some acid? Because we got a lot of acid. Today was gonna be a little bit more of a physical day, because we're actually putting this thing together. Probably gonna have to take these big feet off of the bottom of this thing. But yeah, once we get this connector done, we can piece together the control box, and then that can get mounted. And we probably need to crimp like a cable or 2. Hide all the cables and stuff as much as we can. Because there's still going to be the big heavy cables. These 2 guys right here are still going to be coming up from the bottom piece to the top. So I got to figure out how that's going to do. But at least now the control box doesn't have to take up space on my desk. Just as long as it doesn't loosen itself up and fall in the middle of what we're doing. Which, I wouldn't totally count that out as being a possibility of what may happen. Okay. Just gonna give it a couple lashes here, make sure that the edge of the board is just a little bit smoother. I don't know how we're gonna connect it to. Maybe I'll need to pop the circuit board off and solder a couple wires on there, but then that's an internal connection that can't be undone. So is this gonna have to be connector to connector, or should this be connector to wire to connector? Probably connector to wire to connector. If I need to, LIN bus is coming out right there. I don't know if I can sneak another LIN bus connector right on the end. I might be able to do it upside down. No, that's not really a good way to do it. There's one connector there, and then the other one just goes over to there. Yeah, maybe I'll just jump over to it with that. That's probably how I'll do it. I hate soldering two wires to one connector, though. It's always a mess when you got to do that. Always a mess when you got to do that, but I gotta. Do what you gotta do, you know? It's what it's. Still pieces of those holes. I need to get rid of the whole thing. Keep going. In the future, if I need any other connections here, I can add them to this board. God, this is annoying. I mean, I guess I could also do a connector all the way over to there. No, that's not 12 volt LIN bus. This is 12 volt LIN bus. And actually, I was running it last night and I was looking at the whole thing, and it seems like it's 6 volts on the LIN bus. It should be 12. I don't know how that's possible because everything's functioning just fine. I wonder if maybe the lag would go away if I was able to get it up to 12 volts. We haven't looked at that in a while. Because it really is supposed to be a 12 volt bus. I got 6 volts on it. Okay, that's pretty good. Good enough, right? Good enough, good enough, good enough. Let's put all that fiberglass over there. Okay. That's gonna sit right there. So I probably need to drill some holes in it. It's going to be kind of annoying to install too, but why are you beeping at me? Please don't beep at me while I'm streaming. Power source alert, 35% battery. Yeah, oh boy, this stupid thing. So I got to plug it into my computer for a half an hour, and that way, I don't know, it'll resolve its power supply issues once it's plugged in for more than a half an hour. I don't have any open. What is that? Where do you go? I need to find an open power plug on this hub over here. That one's going to. It's not the Stream Deck. Can't be. I'm unplugging it. What just died? Anybody? Okay. I don't know if anything just died. Maybe my phone charger. That's my mouse? Son of a... Hold on a minute, I need my mouse. I need my mouse to stream. Hold on, I gotta plug this back. Hold on, I just gotta... Hold on, I just gotta just plug in my mouse. Unplug my mouse. It was dumb. How am I using 7 ports over here? It's ridiculous. It's criminal. It's unfair. All right, pump is plugged in. I gotta leave that plugged in for a half hour. Then it'll knock its battery back into functioning again. All right, so we need standoffs. We got standoffs right here. That's not standoffs. Got them right here. Standoffs, and then maybe the drill would be the easiest way to do this. I don't know. I don't really have like hand. Well, I can't get to my drill because it's across the shop, so that's fun. All right, all right. We're adaptable. We can move through this. We'll figure this out. Let's see here. And I just have drills bits over here. I can just grab one of those. That's too big though. Fiberglass is a very malleable material, and I've gotten away with, in the past, not using, you know, power tools to manipulate it. I can just sit here and just pinch the drill bit up against this, and eventually I'll get through. This is kind of a big ask, though. I think this is kind of a lot that I need to get through in order to get to the other side, but like just with my hands, just doing it like this, you know, I've already machined away the copper layer, and I'm just kind of like getting down into the fiberglass just by hand. Very malleable material. Now, doing that with a drill would be a lot faster, so I just wanted to talk about that. So probably the shortest of the standoffs that I have, and then those will screw into the front, and then that'll give me a little bit of an offset so that the plug will not stick out. I mean, I guess the plug could stick out. That would be perfectly acceptable, to be honest. Yeah, maybe I'll just put screws through them. We just directly bolt it on, because that way, I mean, what's another connector sticking out of the back right here, you know? It doesn't need to be inset. Okay, we'll just do that. Just do that. That's the easiest way to do it. And then I don't even need to look at these standoffs. I don't even want to see them anymore. They're dead to me. So this will be nice and quick when I can manage to get a hole going. let me go get that drill. Even though my battery is like 35%, huh? Can I get there on this cable? I don't think I can. Let's see. I gotta extend the USB all the way. You guys don't get, you get to see the cable just barely moving. Then extend the cannula all the way. Nope, can't. All right, here's my solution. Here's my solution to this problem. Oh, it's gonna yell at me about the battery again. Yep. Power source alert. The pump cannot charge using the current power source. Use a different source. How about you go fuck yourself? Gonna unplug this, leave it there, go get the drill. This is an error with the tandem pump. I don't know why it does this. It just doesn't trust the power source, and then it thinks it can't charge. I think what I need to do is I need to open up the uploader in this thing. T-Connect uploader app. I gotta plug my pump back in. It means lifting my shirt. You guys aren't allowed to see. Oh, look, it says 100% battery suddenly. It says 100% battery. I'm gonna leave it for a little bit, though. I'm gonna let it kind of sort itself out and figure out what it is and who it is and why it's acting up, why it's acting a fool. I don't know why it does this. It just has, like, issues with its own battery system. And I would assume that these guys are, you know, on basically on Nintendo's level of battery management. You know, the DS is still famous for people pulling them out of a sock drawer and the battery being in great shape. That's because they just actually care about battery management systems. Hello? It's getting there. It's just very slow. There you go. One. Look at the heat. A little bit of heat. Oh yeah, and then actually the other one needs to be measured, huh? One's there. The next one's all the way up on the edge, it looks like. Yeah, all the way up on the edge. Oh, that was a little sloppy of me. I could have evened it out. Oh well. All right. Is that in drill mode? Yeah. What's up, Groovy? All right. So we're adding another connector to the back of this thing because this this is now going to live on the pedals, and the pedals need something to connect to. So that's what we're currently engineering. Engineering. Ah! It attacked. You saw it. All right. Get these. We need screws and we need bolts. Screws and bolts. So I need something that's going to be wide enough that it's going to latch on. These were previously LED holes. Honestly, like, I kind of wish that I had more LEDs on this system, or a screen or something. I don't really have that. So if something goes wrong with it, I need to pull it all apart and then connect to the USB again. I suppose I could probably run, if I had a socket, I'm trying to get this screw out. If I had a socket, yeah, okay, good, I can use this for both of them. If I had a socket, like USB socket, I could put it like here, and then have that be a connection to the microcontroller. That's always a possibility. All right, so I want screw on one side, bolts on the other. That screw hole is too small, but I'm just going to deal with it. And then I need a nut to go on the other side of this. So where do I have stuff like that? I don't think I got nuts in here. Might be one or two, but generally they're going to be over here. Well, unless they go into... No, that doesn't go into this. I mean, these sized nuts I could use. I could also just find one for the metric thing. I've got a metric thing down here. Hold on. I got a metric thing down here that I could just use. Oh, that was almost a huge mess. I think these. I think. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. No. It doesn't like it. Yes, it does. Okay, so yeah, we'll just use those. 1, 2, and then I need to, oh. I put away the other set. Hold on. You get that back. Okay, so just 2 little fasteners, one on each end, and then a JST plug in the middle. And that will be our LIN bus input. Hup. Yeah, this is... Nope, although it does feature parts from the Faraday cage computer, the old one. All right, and then a JST plug for the middle. Where did I put those? Oh, those are at my feet. Those are right here. I think it's a little 3-pin jobby. Little 3-pin Jim Jam. Where's that gonna go? This here, like that. And then I can just put that off to the side. And if I need any more connectors or indicators, I can put them on this board. There's a cute little board right here that we can use for indicators and stuff. Move that over a pin. I'll go right there. Yeah, yeah. Would be nice if I could move. I mean, there are plugs where I can plug into some indicator LEDs on this thing, and I could run them out to this board. Maybe we should look into that. Yeah, we should probably look into that, because it would be nice if we had like a status on this board, so that I don't have to pull open the whole case or peer into the grating in order to see whether or not we've started up properly. Although the wheel itself makes a beeping noise. They do that thing where they vibrate the motor that's connected to the wheel, and they make it into a speaker. Whoa, really sloppy soldering. Hold on. Really bad. We're better than that. I had a big breakthrough with figuring out how to manipulate the signals in and out of this thing. So we were able now to button up the whole project. And so on Thursday and on Friday, I'm going to be playing my summer car because I deserve a break. I deserve a break. That's going to be difficult to install. I'm going to have to go around and do all that stuff. But yeah, so that's going to go there. And that's going to go right there. And then let's take a look at what Granite Devices offers in terms of, because I think one of the push pin connectors over here, this guy, I think this one has some indicator lights on it, because there's all the indicator lights all the way over here. We can't see those, so they're like buried all the way over in this other, all the way in this area. So let's see what we got. What do we got available to us? Let's go over here. Oop. Got like an electric drill in my way. All right, let's see. Granite Devices, SimuCube. Oh, that's the wireless wheel system. Whoops. Granite Devices, SimuCube, SimuCube, pin out. Oh. This whole system, I mean, it's nice. It's nice to have, and it's a pretty cool little system. You know, my only issue with it is that there are some features that this thing lacks. Wiring for SimuCube LED. I work for the 4 LED outside the box. Okay. External LED connector. What? Well, that's what I want. LED 4-pin out connector. So apparently we have one. I just need to find the right wiring I got a weird wiring diagram. Probably should get like a more normal wiring diagram, huh? Where is it? I mean, that is the more normal one, but I just want to verify. Granite. Granite Device SimuCube pin out. That one's the one from before. Why is it hard to find? Is it hard to find the official one? The one that doesn't have the crossed out middle thing. Wait, why is it like hard to find now? That's really weird. That's really strange. Yeah, this is what they're doing now, is putting everything onto the back of the motor, which is clever. New carpet. Oh shit. New carpet. Where is my official? All right, we're just gonna Granite Devices. SimuCube without pinout on there. Bop. No, that's just the about. I don't want SimuCube 2. Wait, that's not even the right website. No. I hope they didn't like rearrange their wiki or anything. There, okay. SimuCube. That's the picture that I want. There we are. Okay. LED 654. Okay, so we've got pinout 3, which is sitting right there. So we could do all the LEDs on the outside of this thing. That would be kind of nice. I mean, I could do LEDs that would indicate the serial status, but I think we could just take some of the weird LEDs that I bought recently and just make a couple little indicators on this thing, and we'll just run a connector out of that. Yeah. Pin 2, 5 volt in ADCs, 5 volts, and then fan negative. So we don't need to worry about that. Pinout 3 is our jam. That's going to be our jam. So let's take a look. Well, this little board gets 3 LEDs on it. All right, so what LEDs are we going to do? They are through-hole. So, I mean, technically, the board is through-hole. So technically, I'd probably want to have through-hole LEDs on it. I don't have any, like, milky ones that I can use as indicator LEDs. I do have surface mount LEDs, but they're going to be obnoxious and bright, especially if we don't consider putting a big resistor on them. We're going to put surface mount resistors on them. There'll be one ground connection, then a couple other wires for the LEDs, but let's see what we need to do here. I mean, if I do surface mount LEDs, they're going to be harder to differentiate between. I won't be able to make like I mean, I guess I can make a label for them later on. They will solder to this board. It's just a little bit annoying. And there's 3 of them, and I would rather give them more space. So I think we want to do through holes. I think we want to do through holes on these. What do we got in through hole flavor? Ultraviolet. Hell no. Hell no. Ultraviolet, my ass. What's that one all the way back here? Orange. Well, there we go. Some 3mm orange LEDs that have happened to sit at the back of the desk for enough time to gather a sizable amount of dust. So, screws be damned. We are not going to be using, or sorry, resistors be damned. We're not going to be using the specifications on the label. I am going to be putting a 10 kiloohm resistor on all of these. 10 kiloohms is way overdoing it with the amount of resistance, right? You need like 3K or like 300 ohms. 10 kiloohms is going to make it so that these are dull and barely noticeable. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Because I don't want it to blast out my eyes. I might not have even needed bolts to attach this. I think these screws are machining themselves into the fiberglass. Yeah. Oh, that's bad. I'm actually machining the screw. I think maybe I need to open up the screw holes too. Because yeah, that was kind of threading itself in there with pressure. Well, we'll do that later. I wonder if I could just do this. Use a tapered Torx bit. That's actually, I think that's actually working. It's actually widening the hole. Not meant to be a ream, but it works as one on the weekends. Just happens to be a tapered. I was looking at these Torx bits that were sitting on my desk, and they're like tapered just right. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, I'm gonna have to get new water now. I just puked a bunch of fiberglass into the water pitcher. That's always great. That was like good water too. That was from the filter. Damn it! What have I done? Why? Oh, that's okay. So we're actually gonna have to use the tapered ream. All right, repair ream to the rescue. And then we'll put a couple orange LEDs on this thing. I don't really know what the different statuses mean on this device. I don't really know what they actually indicate. This tapered ream is not getting in there. I guess I'll have to take a look. External LEDs connectors directly wired to microcontroller I/O pins without any protection devices. Any miswiring may cause permanent damage to the simu cube. Oh. Okay. The LED external is not present on the PCB. The pin is reserved for an external LED. All right. Okay. That's a scary fucking header. That's that header right there. What do they indicate? They're just called LED 5, 4, and 3. LED 6, 5, 4, and 3 are just there. I don't even know what they mean. I don't know. Maybe we don't need an external LED connector, huh? Maybe it's a little scary. There we go. That's better. Okay. So I'm just putting the screws in there just so that I don't lose them. Just so I don't lose them. Don't want to lose them. Stick it in my screwdriver. Why is it when I'm streaming that thing's making that ticking noise, you know? A little hard drive ticking noise. Doesn't do it when I'm not. And I've had it be quiet before in the past, so yeah, it's just strange. Okay, all right, so we got those. One's gonna be soldered, the other one's gonna be on a connector. We'll need a DuPont connector and how many LEDs? It's 3 LEDs and a ground connection. How many is that connector? That's a lot of connections on that thing. It's got 3 volts on it. Why? How are we wiring up these LEDs? I think they're to ground, right? More than likely they're to ground. So pin out 3, ground, 1, 2, 3, 4 LEDs, and then we don't need that. We could do a 5-pin on that and just skip one of the pins, or I could use a 6-pin connector and have one of them be blank. I mean, I don't even know what these are gonna tell me. I don't even know what they're gonna tell me. I just put 4 LEDs onto this thing and hope for the best. I don't know. I do not know. You know, screw the LED. I'm not putting in the. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. We're not doing the LEDs. It's a whole. It's gonna take me like 3 hours, and the thing beeps when it's all set up anyway. It's not like it gives us any pertinent information, you know. I mean, it could probably say, "Hey, the wheel's not connected," or "Hey, the emergency stop isn't pressed," and I don't need that. I don't need that. I know that. I live that. I live that. We just barely got this thing working, so we shouldn't push our luck too hard. Now, I will leave space if I want to do 4 LEDs on this little board that I'm making. That's fine. I can still do that. But for right now, I'm putting the Bosch on that. Let's not spend the time at the moment. So I just need 3 wires connected to this thing, and I'll just solder them. I'll just solder them in tandem with that connector over there. I mean, the other way that I could do it is have it plug in over here. What am I up against with that? So over here is the little daughter board that we created for this thing, being held up on giant standoffs. And this is responsible for creating the LIN bus and communicating with it. All that peripheral communication, and then we've got a 48 volt to 12 volt, and then a 12 to 5 volt right here. So our power supply is comprehensive. It's got a lot of different stuff on it. With the 12 volts that we're making are part of the LIN bus. It's how the whole thing functions. LIN bus is designed to provide power as well as receive data. I got a 3-pin connector over here, but I was reserving that for the emergency stop. If I wanted to wire the emergency stop up to this, and then I could plug it into that. That's why I'm sort of preserving that connector over there. The other header could go directly right there. I could sneak a wire into the side of it, but it's kind of pushing it. And then alternatively, I could just go straight to here and double up the wires, which I don't like doing. I want this circuit board to be removable. I think maybe I do the 2 connector thing, and then I clip one of these guys and use its end. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Okay, so we are adding another connector to this circuit board. We're not going to take a lazy way out. We're adding another connector to the circuit board, and I'm not doing the LEDs because we're taking the lazy way out. Wait a minute, what? Doesn't you just contradict? Isn't it contradictory? Didn't you just say something about? You say something about not doing that? Okay, so let's take a look here. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, it's basically like the victory lap. I mean, we've gotten everything working, right? So we've gotten through all the very difficult coding stuff. The base station works. I'm able to get all the button presses and the shifts out of the system. We're good to go. We just need to do a little bit of the buttoning up, and then I'll have a viable, functional system. Pretty exciting. You know, we're missing a couple little creature features. Definitely could probably use a screen coming off of this thing, considering all the work that it's doing in the background. Pretty crazy to run a Granite Devices SimuCube without knowing all the stuff that it's doing. Like, yeah, I have a wireless wheel module, and it just works. It's like, man, that thing is doing a lot of work for you, bud. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you're aware, acutely aware of exactly how much work that little module is doing for you. I just lost that header down there. Come back here. It does, I do wish that there was a simpler way for me to communicate button presses to the base station. And I know there is one. I know there is one. It has to exist. But we're not allowed to know about it. Nobody's told us what it is. Green towards me. It's a little bored. I probably should make a PCB for this thing, huh? That would make it feel a lot more professional. But you never know. You never know what stuff you want to add, so I could probably whip up the PCB in like a day. If I don't, because every time I make a PCB, it takes me forever to do, just because I'm making sure that I have all the stuff, all the 3D rendered stuff that goes into something that I'm building. I want to be able to have it fully in CAD in 3D. But if I did this, but I didn't do it in 3D CAD stuff, I could whip this out pretty quickly. I don't know. Well, either way, this thing works, and it's not like I need multiples of it. So we need another LIN bus connector, and that's all the way over here. That's a 3-pin, and we'll just add that in. And then this will have a little cable coming off of it with the thing. So we grab one of these. LIN bus is a bus. It's a bus. So basically just all the stuff is connected to all the stuff. And I could use a little desolder braid in there in order to open those holes up. And then we'll drop another one of these things in there. Now getting to the solder pins is going to be the most difficult part about this. This is going to be actually kind of difficult because there's not a whole lot of maneuvering room in there. I don't need the microscope for this. I can just do this. I can just do this. And this will go like right up next to it, huh? That doesn't work. Actually, that doesn't work. I need to move both of them. All right, both of them have got to move. Both of these. We gotta move both. Get this out of the way then. This one might not survive. Yeah, I don't think this one's really going to survive. What I'm about to do to it. Let's just get the plastic off of it then. Without breaking the board. That's actually going to be very difficult to do. Yeah, that's a desolder. I need to desolder that. You what? Hold on, I can't read you right now. Hold on, give me a sec. I don't know how the hell I soldered this the first time. Okay. Got a development board where the pinouts are made in such a way so you can't directly plug it into a solder board. Ugh. So they just weren't thinking when they made it? See that every now and then. It's very annoying. Very, very annoying. All right, just opening up the pins over here so that I can fit 2 connectors that are going to be in parallel. Why do you say it like that? You're like emphasizing the wrong syllable. Syllable. Well, you got to emphasize the wrong syllable. You just say the word. Ah, man. What a day. What a day. What a day. I am excited to get this thing up and running in full form, you know? You have a preference in solder manufacturers? No, not solder. I like my solder wick brand, Chemtronics. Chemtronics has been around forever. But I don't really have a solder brand that I would particularly subscribe to. You know, I'll buy like a real solder and I'll just use it forever. So the ones that I bought I bought the same solder again, and that would be Kester. So no brand loyalty here. I just bought the same thing that I've been using over the years. So I have this is a freaking pound of Kester. And then I've got another one that's actually thinner. Dropping stuff off of the magnet hanger. I got a thinner gauge of the Kester stuff, which this stuff is. Oh, there's the brand. So, what did I search in order to find this? I think. Oh God, I forget. There was a term that I used in order to search for this stuff. I was looking for very specifically the mix. Maybe it's 3.344, 6337 or something like that. But yeah. Chip Quick at Micro Center, pretty surprised by how pricey it was. Was it, you mean the desoldering stuff? Chip Quick is monstrously expensive. Yeah, the desoldering stuff. It is incredibly useful, but it is insanely expensive. That's why I try to conserve it. Still using the original roll of Radio Shack solder I bought when I first started working. I know, man, you buy this stuff for like $1. It's like 15 bucks for this thing, or like 20. Wayne Johnson, thanks for the 26 months. Yeah, 6337 is the number. So yeah, I bought this in like, well, I actually bought this recently. I mean, we've done like 1,000 years of streaming, and I'm finally at the last bit of that other soldering reel. But yeah, this is like my grandkids are gonna inherit this reel of solder. It's insane. It's insane. It lasts a long time. Long time, a lot of solder. Okay, so we got to get 2 connectors in here instead of 1, and they are the least convenient possible positioning. Ah, shit, what direction did it go in? Well, if that's power, that connects that way, so it's this way. You know, luckily, if I plug this thing in backwards, this doesn't explode, but... Same direction as Buddy. So where does this plug in? This will go here. Bada bing. Just like that. Yeah, we took a perfectly working system and I made it not working. Now we're going to put it back together. Oxidized. I don't know. I think it crystallizes after a little while. Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's... which leads to frustrations in getting it to flow. So, buying new solder. You're gonna spoil yourself rotten. Back in my day... Sneak that wire out of the way so that I can get to that. All right. We are attempting to connect 2 connectors to this thing so that I can properly build the internal structure of this enclosure. Looks like I need to sneak that wire over one block in order to make it work. So let's get the tweezers here. As a coating that you clean out, yeah, get new solder. You don't want to be touching solder all that much, you know. You don't want to be scraping stuff off of it. That sounds like a nice little way to introduce all kinds of terrible chemicals into your body. You know, not that we're all squeaky clean here, but still. Go. Okay. So that just routes that one data line, or the yeah, I think that's the data line. Yeah, ground in the center, and then the 12-volt data line on one side, and then 12 volts on the other, so that if you plug it in backwards, you don't reverse current everything. How's the tuna salad hangover coming? Yeah, that's pretty much. My stomach was just like beside itself because of that weird tuna salad thing that I made. But it's okay now. I had some orzo salad. A lot of salads going around today. I had a little bit of orzo salad, and that kind of calmed things down. Lead is what's wrong with all of us. you know, it might be a major contributing factor to a lot of some of the insanity that we've been seeing lately. The fact that lead was literally fucking everywhere, and all the symptoms of lead poisoning match up to some of the vitriol that we've been seeing in the world. It is a sad reality. Oh my God, it's the consequences of my actions. Who would have guessed? What did I just roll my foot over? Oh, that was my mic cable. Is my audio coming through all right? Okay, good. Yeah, I just rolled my entire weight on my shoe over my mic cable. That's bad. These aren't going to be necessarily very strong, but they'll at least get my signals in and out. My signal! It's my signal, and I want it now. How did I do with that? Looks okay. It's getting a little close there, though. I need to scooch it in a little bit. And then, of course, I just completely bridged the two. Oh, no, I didn't. That's looking pretty good. Okay, connector number 2. Well, I mean, maybe I should ohm the first one out first just to make sure that I'm not shorting anything. Yeah, let's do a quick little ohm. Ohmies help ohmies. Okay, I just got to make sure that I'm getting through any layers that are any like rosin layers or anything. A little suspicious when there's nothing. How about you? Seems good. Seems all right. It'd be a very unpleasant joke if stuff exploded. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. You got a license for that connection? Oh, hold on. There might actually be a bridge between these two. That looked a lot like one. Yeah, I think it's getting close, but I don't think there's a connection. Let's take a look at the microscope. I'm all the way down here. I need to get a closer look. Oh, why is that? Oh, it's like super loose. No, they're distinct. They're separate from one another. There's a lot of solder on them, that's all. All right, next one. There we go. All right, next connector. This one's just going to ape off of the connections that are already there. So that all my wires are straight. What is that one doing? It's straight up in the air. All right, here's the 3 connections that I need to make. Just like so. Those are nice loose wires. Those will be nice and easy for me to work with. And this thing needs to be facing the right direction. And now, have side-to-side connectors. Oh, are they going to reach? Uh-oh. I really don't want to have to add little lengths of bare wire to this thing. I might need to do solder bridges to all of them. Two millimeters of solder poking out. What are you talking about? What? Huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All right, and put this thing back. You're probably seeing something that you don't recognize. In the microscope. No, that's not solder. That's the connection wire. That's not solder. That is the wire that I'm soldering down in order to make the connection. I guess I could run little pieces of wire on the underside of this. No, those won't really solder well, will they? I gotta get like under the plastic and not melt the plastic in, which is getting to be a bit difficult here. This is kind of a tough job, actually. And I soldered them together. Son of a bitch! Let's see if I can just coax it into separating. Might have worked. Right, and this one over here. Yeah, there's like just not enough wire to get it to connect. I could just load it up with solder, or I could try like down here. It's just not enough. Damn it. All right, hold on. I gotta pull this up. I gotta pull it up. I'll have to use a new connector because there's not enough wire to bridge. All right, so I gotta stand up on my knees. All right, where are thing? There they are. What the? Like stole some of my stuff. Jeez, got caught in things. A little bit of desoldering braid. And we're adding another connector to this thing because this gets mounted to the pedals of the wheel system that I'm building. And so I need to add another connector to my board. So we're soldering right now. But my wires don't quite reach. So I just need to get a little bit more wire. Where's a scrap? I barely need, here's a scrap. I found one. We'll be doing bigger stuff in a minute. All these little things are allowing me to get my system together. All those small things. Oh God. Okay, anyway. Wait. What am I doing? I thought the wire was solder. It's not. Okay. Clean those up. Now I add little extensions to all of them. They're not all going to be elegant solutions in the end, you know? Sometimes you just need to staple things together, get it to barely work. Too many. No. During my student orientation for college, I guess the Drexel like digital media program was kind of in its fledgling stages, and so what they did, and I guess these are probably former freshmen doing this, they made videos for basically videos like introduce welcome to college life, right? But the thing is, like, they all use the same song. So they were all, it just takes some time, a little bit of everything. Every video used that song in its entirety. We had to sit there and listen to all this crap. Oh my God. I was trying to gnaw my own arm off to get out of there. Could not tolerate it. All right, so I need another JST connector. Need another JST connector. Luckily, these things grow on trees. It was like going on YouTube and looking up like teenagers making their own music videos. Oh, it was bad. Intolerable. Those might actually make a connection unsoldered because the wires are putting a little spring on there. I gotta crouch down and solder this. We don't have this in like an official. It's not like a nicely held down PCB or nothing. We're just kind of getting it done. It would probably be pretty useful for me to build a circuit board for this thing, considering all the functionality that I've put into it. It's gotten kind of out of hand. To the point where it probably justifies the construction of a PCB, just for the sheer organization of everything. All right, so now we have 2 LIN bus connectors. Huzzah! My God, what have we done? All right, so there's that. I guess before I put this back in, well, that doesn't really open up that area any. What I need to do is get in here in order to install the button panel. But let's take this connector. What was intended to be sort of my output connector for the for the pedals going back to the wheel. I had this mounted to the wheel, and that had the little XLR connector in it. But I don't need this entire thing anymore. So what I'll do is just cut this, and we'll just make it. Let's just be that length. We can just doink. He's dead. I killed it. Oh my God. Well, making a PCB at this point is, I don't know if I'd call that scope creep. I would call that a necessary organization step. However, I'm going to get this thing working because it works, right? So that's, you know, maybe one day I'll take an aside and just go like do a little sidebar and go, look, I'm going to make a circuit board for this thing. Because I know all the connections that I need to have be made. I don't know how to talk. And then I could add indicator lights to the Arduino that tells me, you know, what its status is. You know, what are you doing right now, bud? Great use of the emote. Yes. Yeah, it was. I like that emote. I like it. It's a little rude. If I am to face my ancestors in the Great Hall of Electrical Engineers, at the end of my life in like 10-15 minutes, I need to put strain relief on these wires. There's no other way. I could go drill holes in this, stick the wires through, bend them around, and have them come up the other way. That would be good, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to crimp some male headers onto these things. Some of these crimping things, they come with male headers, and I never use them because they have sockets, right? But if it comes with that, I might as well use it. I could just do wire to board. Technically, this thing should not be seeing all that much flexing, but I think I wanna do right by my skills here and actually. Holy shit! What is this? No, that's not the right one at all. That's an extra JST. I think I just wanna pop a crimp on those and just be able to sleep at night, you know. You must be able to talk too. What, huh? I'm confused. I said something and you're probably... So, okay, sometimes when leaving comments on Twitch, one should be aware of the delay that exists, because it sometimes helps to restate things that you're proclaiming in the comments, and then your streamer doesn't look at your comment, have an eye twitch, and have absolutely no idea what the context was, because they barely have any memory of what they said half a second ago. It's gotten better with the instantaneous comment posting, but there's still times when I say something, somebody responds to something I say, and then the whole production is weird because I don't know what they're saying. It's like, yes, the bee, and I'm like, what did I say? I don't remember anything. I'm sorry. I forget whether or not we can use the circular clamp on these. We'll try it. Oh, that almost worked. Yeah, I guess that's good enough. I don't know, it's kind of peeking out of it a little bit there. Yeah, we can get the other ones to work better, though. I'm just doing this as strain relief. It's not very compact, but it'll just allow me to... I don't know, I'll feel a little bit better about it if I got that strain relief in there. I guess I could put a housing around it, too. Well, that's not really going to help, is it? Maybe a little... It's good. Yeah, these the DuPont connectors are very easy to work with. Nice. It's nice for a change, you know? This is not working. Hold on. Ow! Oh, really sharp. Freaking poked me. How dare you? That one's sticking out a little too much. Might crush it by accident. Well, give it a try. Good enough. I hope. Now I could put a housing on that, and that'll keep these from knocking into each other. But if I do that, and they stick out through here, I guess that's okay. I can go through like that. Yeah, we'll just do that. Where did the... Oh, they're over here. They're over here. Let's grab a little 3-pin thing. Kind of a weird setup, but I think it'll be okay. And then, how does it go into that? So, down on one side. Well, so it sticks upwards like that, maybe? And then I can solder those down and just do a little bridge in between them. So if this thing's on the outside like this, no, it's like this, and the thing is plugging in downwards, this goes over here. That one, that one, that one. And these are kind of fighting me. They don't want to go into the thing. Oh wait, I can pull them from the other side. There we go. Cute. I guess I could have done female and then have it plug in. Oh well. Whatever. Whatever. I'll do this as lazy as possible, weirdly and lazily as possible, huh? Maybe I could just bend them. Uh-oh, they kind of felt like they were breaking. Uh-oh. Gonna be bad if they all broke off suddenly. Whole purpose of this was to strengthen them, keep them nice and tacked on there. It's probably violated the whole thing by just flipping them like that. I thought they'd be a little stronger, but it felt like very much like a metal fatigue kind of scenario. Oh well. I guess I could clip on. I could crimp on proper DuPonts, but whatever. Right in my DuPonts. Where? Okay, like this. And I might as well just like leave this plugged in so that I have a reference here. Yeah, so just like that. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do this as lazily as possible. I probably should have utilized those through holes. That would have been a much cooler and better, and everybody would have thought I was awesome. I didn't end up doing that. I screwed it up. Son of a bitch! This is your fault, chat. You guys did this. You did this to me. This is all your fault. Oh no, the pin just fell off. Yeah. Yeah, those get one flex and they're dead, huh? Okay, well, so much for that idea. One flex and they're dead. Let's get the housing out of here. I can still solder them. All three of them just fell off. All because Males Bixie said I was cool. You know, now we know. All right, just trying weird stuff. Didn't work out. Hello? Can I get these back? I gotta poke them. I gotta poke them with a pin tool. Get them out of here. Oh, this is a tool that's seen better days. I also die after one flex. He flexed himself to death. You hate to see it. He was not steady flexing. He was very intermittently flexing and overdid it. All right, fine. I'm just gonna solder the whole goddamn thing down. I stopped caring. And I started Karening. Yeah, I can like cut that down a little bit more. We'll just use them as use them as little holders for the wire going in, and then the jacket will at least be held. Because that's really all I'm concerned with, is that the jacket of the wire is what's being held. That way it can flex around and it won't immediately break. Probably still break eventually, but remote control toys or for industrial use. Huh. You guys wonder about stuff like that, you know? Like, in a big industrial scenario, are they using those shitty, like, analog RC car, like the $1 RC car controller chip being utilized in like a multi-million-dollar machine? All right, so the JST thing didn't work out. I'm just using what's left of the crimps in order to hold the wire jacket steady. So when this plugs in, it'll be like this. Blue wire's on the left. Blue, black, and then yellow. This is like real sloppy work. Fine though. That's really sloppy compared to some of the other stuff that I do around here. It's this right angle's kind of messing with me on the circuit board, but that's all right. It'll be okay. That'll be okay. We'll make it. My fingers are getting all neuropathy-y. Why? Hey, how about you get some blood to your finger? I'm getting, like, tingly nerves in my hands right now. Ah, shit. Fucking the whole thing up, too. Alright, hold on. Hold on. We gain composure again. What's the camera angle like? That's okay. You guys can see the struggle of not holding down the circuit board properly. It's just, man, always gotta do everything exactly the right way, huh? There we go. Now I got something holding it down that won't move. I'm not in the way, am I? You guys can see what I'm doing? Yeah. Yeah. I should probably use tweezers to hold on to that end. Problem is, these are so close to one another, I don't want them to bridge. That would be a funny, hilarious joke if everything exploded. Needs a little solder on the backside. I didn't really... Actually, you know what? That angle is cursed. They need to be at a 90-degree angle. That's a cursed angle. It's not making good electrical connection with that. It needs to be at full 90 degrees, and then I can just use the space in between the two pins to anchor, just like that. Now, it's very clear that it is connected properly. Try to do it fancy. Doesn't work out. All right, a little crooked, but who cares? Okay, cool. So there's our internal our internal LIN bus connector. We got it wired up on the circuit board. We've got our little adapter here. Put some of my toys away and actually get to what we're working on. Yeah, see, if I did the LED thing, we'd still be struggling. We'd still be struggling, and it wouldn't really be all that much benefit. Although at some point, I would like to have a screen on this thing, but I think the screen should probably be powered by our own thing so that I can say exactly what's going on. Because like the Granite Devices board initializes and does all that stuff, but it doesn't really communicate that it's doing that. Whereas we have this entire like registration process that we got to go through. All right, so let's get this thing in here, and then we'll get the circuit board back in. Screwdriver, there it is. All right, so finally utilizing some of this extra, some of these extra openings, because the laser power supply was a much more simplistic sort of thing. It had a bunch of transformers and like an exciter, and that was just output on a bunch of screw terminals on the back of this thing. They replaced their laser. They call it the Taquito. It's a big, angry, single tube laser as opposed to the dual tube laser that was there before, which, boy, oh boy, the optics on those things. You gotta make your beam do 2 90-degree turns in order to get it out. Cannot be fun. Now this is actually going to be very difficult for me to work with. I can just peel some of these out of the way. Peels here. All right, there's one hole, there's the other hole. Hopefully those line up enough that I can, uh-oh. Oh no, my haphazard measuring of where the holes go was, well, haphazard. I could use smaller screws. That might be able to get me to where I need to go. Well, or we're just on the fringes with both of these. It might just work out. Hold on a minute. Maybe these will both just be a little bit crooked. I'll have to get the bolt behind that. That's going to be the hardest part. I guess I could have done one of the things that I like doing when we're doing something like this is instead of having a nut behind these screws, I could have had a brass insert. And the brass insert, the wonderful thing about brass is that it solders very easily. So what I could have done is captured the nut and had brass inserts sitting on the back of this board. It's a little wasteful though, you know? You only got so many brass inserts to use in your life. Well, it's a little crooked, but I'm okay with it. Let's get nuts behind these things, and then I'll pack all the wiring back in. Ooh, careful. Looks like something a man's using to dig more cellar with. What, you mean that guy with all that RC stuff? He's just like digging out his basement. That guy rules. I can't get to this other one. And I could, like, a forceps, maybe? This connector, unfortunately, had to be, like, the first thing to go in, huh? So, yeah, it's kind of in there. I can't really... Maybe I can remove this connector and get to it. That's the motor connector, and I dislike these green screw terminal connectors in a final product. That's why I found these used in RF a lot, apparently. The RF guys love these things, but it was a 3-terminal, you know, gold-plated DB-looking thing. I love it. Okay, that's not aligned at all. I'm trying to balance the nut on the end of my finger and get it to the screw. And then I can loosen them and kind of like wiggle this thing around until it's, you know, it looks organized. Having trouble getting to it, though. It's not a very long screw, after all. Where is it? I don't know where it is. I can't... Is that it? Oh. Feels like... No, okay, it's not balanced anymore. Damn it! You do this a lot when you work on cars. This sort of, you know, balance the thing on your finger and try to get it to the end of the threads. You know somebody's seen a lot of shit if they're good at this game. It's one of those. It's like, oh, you've been through the ringer and back, huh? This one's like all out of whack, though. That's the problem with it. The screw's like crooked. I got it dialed in. I just need to... It wants to cross thread. Ooh, yeah, really badly, too. Come on, bud. You need to pop off of that. Got stuck on the end because it cross-threaded a little bit. Why don't you back out a little bit, and I'll try to catch it. Nope. Nope. Damn it! This is going poorly. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I just got it. I didn't put like a lock ring on this, so I don't know how tight I can actually get these. I need to bolster them with my finger in order to move them any. That one's not going to move at all. This one's barely able to wiggle, but it's off by a little bit. It's crooked. It's crooked. I don't want it to be crooked. Try to get that straight. I want LEDs. I want those LEDs on this thing. No, can't afford them. time-wise anyway. We can't afford them. We have LEDs at home. Get this plug back in. Main motor plug with the e-stop and everything. Right. Tuck you down in there. Get power wires all the way in. I don't know why the power wires aren't silicon jacketed. I don't know why I did that. I think they're 18 gauge. We probably calculated it or something. Okay, so there's our power wire for the board. Here's our additional LIN bus line. We need to get this thing plugged in, and this time I need to not plug it in backwards. That's one of the problems that we were having. I have these labeled very specifically for so that they're idiot proof, right? But I'm too much of an idiot for my own idiot proof labeling. So this one, like this. Flip it around. Front left. Back left. These are all solid core wires. I really should have used different wiring for this. I think I hacked up a couple Ethernet cables in order to make these. But these solid wires are like, they're tough to work with. I guess I don't really, you know, we barely need these things plugged in. I just need the two that are doing analog. I guess if I run out of buttons on the wireless module, I can have the Arduino flip the buttons here. So we have, you know, 16 plus the 24 that are quote unquote wireless now. So I got lots of buttons. We have more abilities, more flippable buttons than we have actual buttons, which is good. It's a good place to be. These Ethernet wires are trying to pop this whole thing up, so I'm going to anchor this down. I'm going to plug in all the other plugs, and hopefully the timing stuff with the bus signals works out, so we don't have to tweak it at all. The shifter signal kind of comes in and out. It's just a little bit off kilter, and so every now and then it'll miss reporting in, but that doesn't unflip anything, so it shouldn't be noticeable when the system's running. Shouldn't. Key. It's kind of key. But who knows? Who knows? We'll see what it's like when I do games on Thursday. Wednesday, I'm going to spend cleaning up my desk. I need to get the whole keyboard tray out. I need to remove it. My computer is sitting on the desk at this point, just because it's in sort of a transitionary state where it's becoming my new computer as soon as I can figure out the design of the rest of the computer. And that's something that we'll need to work on, is the 3D modeling stuff. I've lacked inspiration, but I wanted to get this thing done. God damn it. You guys know how it is. God damn it. This is kind of like a victory lap. There's a lot of stuff that I'd like to change about how this thing is together, but for now, it works. So we're going to leave it. This would probably be much easier if I did two side-by-side circuit boards. I wanted to fit it in a smaller area, but this power supply is just enormous. I don't know if there is a 48-volt power supply that's a lot smaller than this. And, you know, three-phase servos love voltage, so wanted to be able to give it enough that it would be happy. So one goes there, the other one goes right behind it. And blue wire to blue wire, yep, that looks good. Like that. Just tuck it in. Where's my main power? There it is. Main power all the way over to there. And then fan over here. Now we need to plug everything in and test it, because I'm not about to button it up without knowing that everything works. Let's give it a little test. Give it a little testies. I had to put all my stuff away after all that soldering. Let's see. Then we've got one wire here, and I'm just going to plug in any old wire because I need to observe something working. We plug into, well, here's the wheel module. Can I get that up here? Yeah, okay, cool. So plug that in. That's essentially what's going to be. So we've got the pedals plugged in with a shorter wire right there, and then through this one, the data cable, we will have LIN bus going to the wheel and the shifter. That, and then over here. This one's the more satisfying one. This one right here, this data cable, because it's got this springy half turn that it does. So you line up the arrows, arrow to arrow, arrowed. You kind of can't get it wrong. It's kind of a, just like that. This one, of course, make sure that my notch is there. Good. Since I was a little concerned with that the data plug, where the wires became frayed and it kept loosening itself, because that data plug I'm going to be plugging in and out a lot. So I need it to actually be pretty strong. Okay, how are we doing? Let's see. Everything is plugged in, as far as I'm concerned. We got some stuff in the way, but I think we're good for just powering it on and giving it a test. A little testy test. Hold on, I'm gonna tighten up my camera a little bit here. I don't know what's going on with it. Sorry, getting distracted by everything right now. I'm gonna have to work on that later. I need to make something to hold that camera better on the end of the probe. All right, yeah, let's give it a try. So plug it in. Hopefully we don't see any fires here. Oops, it was turned on initially. Well, that's always great. Nobody's heating up more than they should. Looks happy. Let's see if it is happy. Hold on, I need to... Is it happy? Well, it doesn't say there's a wheel. Oh, it's not... Whoa. It's doing that thing where it acts up. Where it acts funky. And it's not saying that the wheel's connected either. What about... Yeah, see, it's not reporting anything. Okay, what's going on here, bud? Turn you off again, turn you back on. What am I missing? Everybody's powered up. The data cable... I mean, it looks like everybody's making a connection. Unless we, like... If we killed the LIN bus, it shouldn't come through in any other facet, so... Oh, I'm not plugged into USB. There's your problem. Okay, why are you doing this again? Doing the lumpy steering wheel again. Let's restart it. Try again. Just trying to make sure that everybody's plugged in and happy. Replug the data cable. That one is, I mean, that has to be making good connection. Anybody else? Like, where would the problem be on that? Because we've had that problem before, and it just kind of went away. We never had a culprit. And that's fully plugged in right there. These three are connected tightly, yes. Data stuff down here looks connected. I'm not really going to play with it too much. All right, let's try again. Yeah, it's still doing that weird thing. I don't know what that's all about. It does this weird thing where it seems to like cog oddly to movement. I think maybe one of the phases isn't connecting. That's what it feels like anyway. Trying to move the cables around, see if looseness is the problem. Nope. The controller's probably heating up quite a bit too. I gotta be careful with that. All right, try again. So the problem that I'm having, oh geez, the USB port is really loose too. The problem that I'm having is that it seems like it might be that one of the phases isn't connected. And if one of the phases of the motor doesn't connect, then it cogs over in weird ways and it's unable to have control of itself. It's unable to react like the wheel should. Shouldn't be an issue. That shouldn't be something that's happening because we've got industrial connectors on everything. Everything is in big industrial connectors. So unless a cable flexed in a weird way, something didn't go back together correctly, or if there's some kind of other physical damage to it, I guess that could affect it, but everybody appears to be plugged in perfectly fine. The other direction to go with this is maybe the encoder isn't connected properly, and that's what's causing a little bit of the weirdness. But from my observations of wherever the encoder is connected, none of the connections look particularly frayed. Everything looks, I mean, everything is new in this system. Everything is custom made by us, and it's all connected very solidly from what I can see. And it just kind of acts up every now and then. I'm going to plug the big motor connector in again. Get that out and back in. This is all an argument for making a sim pit, because with a sim pit, all of this stuff would be on lockdown all the time. The only moving part would be the wheel. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be connected properly. We just got confused about what phase is what. I don't know. The wheel's going to jerk a little bit around, and then it'll come up. Beeps at me. Yeah, and it's still doing this. Why is it shaking back and forth? That ain't what you're supposed to do. Very strange. Very strange problem that I'm having today. Well, it almost fixed it. Well, is the LIN bus stuff working? That's the question. Well, the connection to the pedals works, and if I hit a button on the wheel, well, why did that button activate all the way over there? That was a weird one. Yeah, talk button still doesn't do anything. Okay, so the buttons on the wheel work. I mean, if I go into the shifter, yeah, shifter works. So you guys can see the system working right now. I don't know what's going on with the connection to the motor, maybe, or the encoder for the motor, or if there's like a weird data connection in there. Hold on. Just harass the cable a little bit. Seems like kind of loose. Cable itself. I don't know what the problem is. LED on each phase to see if they're working properly. I don't know. You guys come up with these weird ideas on how to test things that are not necessary. Yeah, we're just gonna look at the connectors a little bit here, because I've owned stuff in the past. Acting up because I showed up. No, it did this yesterday. Or sorry, last stream. It did this last stream where it would be like moody. And it's like, it seems like it's a missing phase kind of thing. You know, like if you plug in 2 out of 3 of the connections in your 3-phase motor, it'll start cogging over and doing weird stuff. It's kind of what it feels like it's doing. It resolved itself last time. It just kind of started working again. So I feel like last time we resolved this, though, we took apart this connector, put it back together. And everything inside of this thing was super solid, so I don't see what other kind of problem it could be. But I mean, like, you know, I did unplug and plug stuff back in a little bit on this. Everything appears to be connected as it was before. Yeah, I mean, that looks okay. These are at kind of funny angles, but I think they're still making connections here. Unless they're dealing with like a boatload of noise. Try again. Because I remember with the other system, it would do stuff like that, and then we'd reverse the direction of feedback, and everything would fix. Like, hates it. Is it a software thing? Hold on. Pop. Their wheel, it's connected. Profiles, 80%, 360 lock to lock. Strength, 75. Save to SimuCube. Bada bing. Yeah, no, it's still doing weird stuff. Yeah, very weird that it like locks into positions and stuff. Really acting a fool. All this stuff is like new, right? So like, you know, frayed connections and things really shouldn't be an issue. I don't know why this is suddenly going psycho. And let's see. Filters on the Ioni drive. Fast. Torque bandwidth unlimited. Center frequency we're not dealing with. And we've got not a lot of... We're not doing a whole lot. Centering spring strength. I put the 60. It's fine. Audible notifications and all that stuff. All right, I'm gonna unplug everything and plug it back in and just see if something weird happens now. Because yeah, this is a weird issue, and I'd like to know why it's happening. I thought it would be a little bit less repeatable, but the stuff we did worked. We're able to now have that extra connector right here, which means I can mount this to the base plate. I would just like to get to the bottom of whatever the hell is going on with this right now. Now this kind of does allow for a little bit of wiggle room, but I don't think that means that, you know, everything is unplugged in this. Didn't we look inside of this housing? We didn't look in this one, but these are D-cup connectors. I mean, they should be very much established. This one we did look inside of, and they're all jacketed and shielded and stuff. But they all make very good connections, supposedly. Just take a look over here. We can ohm it. That's all we can do. Ohm it end to end. You can't exactly just hook LEDs up to the outputs of these things to see them running. I guess you probably could. You just need a big resistor. But they go positive and negative. Like it's all over the place with the motor control. Eh. Okay. Go to ohms. End to end. Now we God damn it. We did this last time. We've done this before. We've done this whole song and dance. Half an ohm. 1 ohm. One ohm. And the final one is the jacket. Make sure there's no crosstalk. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, these connections are very solid. They're definitely making good connections. I don't think anything internal to the motor is going wrong here. I don't know why it would be acting up though. Maybe it's something within the the digital system that's controlling the motors just getting out of whack. This happened when I removed this circuit board the last time. What would be causing that then? I can't really think of anything unless there's such a drop in like LIN bus that that's not doing it. You know, somehow we don't have enough power going to something. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Makes no sense at all unless my 5-volt regulator can't power the encoder's 3 volts. It gets its own little 3-volt feeds sent over. I'm at a loss, chat. I don't know. What knocked it out of doing this last time? How do we solve that? Can't think of a more solid connection right there, you know? These connections are like super duper good. Thinking. Yeah, I don't really know any reason why it would be doing weird. Unplug this one, plug it back in. Let's check the wires on it. Oh, pretty solid. Pretty solid. Everybody looks connected. The only concern I would have would be inside of this housing here, whether or not that's actually making all its connections. I don't know if we investigated that. Didn't we take a look at it last time? And everything was okay. As long as that strain relief is where everybody's flexing, which seems to be the case. Ooh, wow, that actually moved very easily. I don't know if I like that. What's going on there? Let's try again. Damn it. What if I recenter the wheel? Would it behave if I do that? Okay, recenter right there. Wait, that might have done it. Nope, never mind. Still acting crazy. A little less crazy, but it like jumps right here. What's your deal? Can I like motor encoder and center point? Now we did do that last time. I don't remember if that fixed it or not. Analog inputs and X12s. Profiles. Do we have anything here that will like reverse feedback? No. Hardware setup, audible notification, USB recovery. I don't think I went through that. I was too scared of that setting. We don't need to redo any of the settings. It would be something else going wrong, but the encoder looks like it is actually giving good data though. Ugh, Just when we get down there, it's like something's going wrong with the feedback. Ugh. Oh, God. Wait, why did that stop giving feedback? Ugh. Okay. Yeah, it stops at a certain... Well, it's supposed to hit an end stop at that point. And then it's supposed to be springing back into center position, but I think it's missing a phase, so it's unable to do it properly, and everything kind of glitches. Try to, like, push things back in. Wiggle the board. It still hates me, and I don't know why. That's odd. That's really odd. I don't know what the problem is here. Let's see if we can figure it out. SimUcube motor cogging. How to get rid of cogging? Hold on, I gotta move my multimeter. It's all up in my business. It's all up in my keyboard. Motor cogging fix. Cogging in recon filters below 8. What? Okay, let's go to the other PC view. That one. That way I look like I'm actually looking at the thing. Motor pogging. No! No! Not even a little bit. I wish it was. Then I would be popular. See, cogging is a different thing. Cogging is if you're using like a stepper. Cogging with a motor, like when you move it to a position and it like snaps into that position, that's what it feels like it's doing. But we're getting like a different problem. Force feedback yoke? What? SimUcube, what is it like how would you guys describe it? I don't know what words to use. Motor jumping fix. There we go. Knowledge wiki. Over voltage. See, I don't think we're getting like an error. Won't go into DFU mode. I don't know what these problems are that they're having. Surgery gets stands for last firmware and double check your FOV. Over voltage fault and granted. No, we're not getting that though. That's not our problem. Suddenly turns to one side and stays there. I don't think that's right. There's definitely it's got to, what is this problem? What is the problem that's occurring? I mean, I removed the circuit board that we had sitting on top of this thing, and then everything went haywire. This happened before. This happened before where things just suddenly like didn't want to respond properly, and then it just stopped happening. It just randomly fixed itself, those are the worst kinds of problems, or the ones that just resolve themselves. That's a very dangerous thing to have happen. The USB slot is like perfectly held down. It's just the USB cable in it is all over the place. Yeah, that connection's on there. That's not really moving around. Our resistors aren't really getting hot. The motor control board is just happily sitting plugged in fully and connected. The only problems that I could potentially foresee would be in the cables and connectors, right? Yeah, it's one of these things, right? These little stupid problems always come back. Cables and connectors. I really don't want to take apart that one encoder cable because we've seen the encoder input. It looks perfect. You know, it knows exactly where the wheel is. It's just for some reason it feels like it's hitting a ball detent. Yeah, I can get other data, but I need to swap the USB connector over to the other one. But that one has all of the little like motor parameters and stuff like that, and I don't really think that's what's going on. Motor, Hearing Ione, motor starts holding position as bumps are forced to turn. And one of the following. Wait. Bumps. Motor starts holding position, has bumps if forced to turn anyway, then one of the following settings needs attention. FBI, MPC, and FBR. And that's pole count and stuff. Well, we know that our settings are good. They've been fine. And this is the invert force feedback setting. This is what I was talking about before, where it would we would invert the force feedback and it would fix the problem. That seems to be what's going on, but I don't have any way in this software to reverse the force feedback. And I don't want to get into programming the card. But we might have to. I might have to open up the Granity software. All right, let me open up Granity then. That's going to be in the folder. That would be Granity software. And that's this one. And I run this. And then I need to flip our USB over, I think. This stuff's pretty cool. So if I connect, I don't think that connects properly. I think I need to flip it over to the other plug, which I'll do right now. I've just got a plug here that I can swap from one to the other. I should have a little KVM in there. Yeah, that would have been cooler. Well, anyway, do that, turn it on. Probably not going to be COM 6 is the other thing. So we should probably see. You calm the hell down. Oh no, don't search on COM 6. And there are no other COM ports. Uh-oh. Let's go back to the other port then. Oh, there we go. COM 11, or the basic, probably simple motion, right? Unable to connect. Oh, it was, I think it might have found it, and then I unplugged, and then it lost it. Yeah, it lost it. Whoopsie daisy. I gotta go back to the other plug. Boink. That one in like that. Hit refresh. What are you doing? Oh my god, this fucking software. What is it doing? Might be loading the wheel. Now, we don't want to mess with any of these settings. These are the high-powered settings that will make or break. They'll destroy my wheel. That's basically how it describes itself to everything, right? Hey, buddy. Do I need to be in DFU mode for this? What are you doing? This thing should not... Yeah, this one does not connect. This one should not be permanently in loading. I'm going to start it again. I'm going to start you up again. It's considering its life, yeah. Why is it having so much trouble connecting? This is new. We haven't messed with this in a little while. I think the last thing we did with this software was connect a big linear actuator, and I was pushing myself backwards with it because it was so powerful. I wish I could find more of those linear actuators. The Allen Bradley 600 millimeter, very nice linear motor, and really, really cool device. What the okay, software, what are you doing? I'm gonna restart this thing. Oh, there we go. I turned it off and then it went crazy. Turn it back on. Simple motion serial port, COM number 11. Give me it. There we go. That is a lot of stuff. Command failed because not connected, huh? I'm not in the update mode. I don't know if I need to be in the update mode in order for this to recognize us. There's a lot of cool stuff that we can do with this software. The tuning mode is one of them. But we have this wheel is completely configured and plugged in. So it's completely configured. We should have all the data we need. We just need to be able to possibly just reverse the force feedback direction. But I don't see that setting anywhere. APP, PFF, fault, FOC, FFT. It was FBI we were looking for. Invert feedback direction. But why does it get confused about that? Because like sometimes it works, most of the time it works, but then every now and then it just needs to have the force feedback direction reversed. And we can't do that with this software, which is a huge oversight, because that would have been very nice for us to be able to just toggle and then fix my force feedback. It seems like when I unplug the wheel and I plug in the sensor, something gets twisted. Let me try this. Let me try this. Instead of doing that, I'm going to, this thing is off. I'm going to flip the wheel around a couple times. I don't know if this thing works in 180 degrees or 360 or whatever, but I figure move it around a little bit, start it upside down, and let's just see what happens. So let me put USB back to where it should go on the other header, the device output header. Turn that on. Be nice if I could assign like a steering wheel button to do that. I would also love to be able to assign a steering wheel button for the level of force feedback, or at least like a knob on part of it. Ah, it's back to its old tricks, huh? Hey, bud, reverse your force feedback direction. You're like unsafe. Why does this suck so hard? This thing is just like terrible. Yeah, it's still reversed. I mean, I could switch the encoder wires, but no, it's working. It only works for a certain number of turns, and the software takes over. It's just correcting in the wrong direction. Oh yeah, that's just the configuration as is. Motor torque constant below for maximum output torque estimation. Leave it 0 if you don't know this value. Use existing Ioni configuration as is. Yeah. I know the Ioni device works already. Turned enough, 180 degrees in each direction to be detected. To detect encoder index point after phasing for wheel to be usable. That would be, so automatic is wheel must be approximately centered when Simucube is power on and will be used immediately after installation is completed. Note, if your system with an absolute encoder setup use commutation sensor, your wheel will always work without phasing. The selector makes no difference in the operation of the system. I think we're going with automatic. That's what we had before. Oh, I really don't want it to do that. I don't want it to redo the hardware settings. Hell no. Cancel. We characterized this motor. We have all the setup in there already. And I think I've doubled the I think I've got everything backed up, but flip a dip switch. Oh, in order to connect the software, the other software? Because, yeah, that would be the DFU mode switch. If that's really the only way that we're able to get to that force feedback reversing setting. Yeah, for Granity to connect. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I have to do, too. I don't know why, you know, it suddenly started working last time. Turn this off. Like, why would everything reset like that? Flip the wheel around a couple times. Make sure the encoder's in a weird spot. Center. Unplug. Blow on the cartridge. Plug it back in. That makes no difference, really, but turn it on. It might just be a luck of the draw kind of thing. Back and forth. Beeps at me. And it goes psycho. It thinks it's upside down. What the hell? Whoa, buddy. It's a little psycho. Yeah. All right. All right, the dip switch. I'll turn it when this thing is on and idling. Here, if we look at the thermal camera, you can see when the force feedback isn't properly configured, the card is getting quite toasty. It's putting a lot of energy into the wheel, and it's unable to assert control. So it ends up putting all this energy into the wheel, and then everything just kind of like heats up. So, okay, configuring, hold on. We want to set this thing up. What dip switch do we want on this thing? Using Simucube firmware, please remember to click the Enable Ioni USB configuration in the Advanced tab. I mean, I guess I could reload settings from Simucube too. All right, hold on. Hold on. We shouldn't need to go into DFU mode for this. I think we can just do Enable Ioni USB. Okay, it's still acting up. Just had to be sure. Press OK to go to a mode where you can configure the Ioni drive via a separate Granity tool. While the Ioni configuration tube will not work on any games. It's fine. Yeah, we're all good. Okay. So now, go to Granity. I agree. Connect. Not only sees that COM port, let's refresh that. Well, that's not going to be it. This thing is powered up and it's connected via USB. I don't know if I need to swap the port over. Maybe it expects me to have both of them plugged in. Any granted configuration mode, games will not work. E-stop status. So we've enabled this mode. I think what I need to do is I just need to flip the USB port over, because I don't think I can connect to that. We'll try it. COM 6. Okay, there's nothing on there. Yeah, so I'm just going to unplug that USB and go over to the other one. I don't know if this works. I may need to have another USB cable. Refresh the list. 11. Connect. There it is. Okay, open that up. All right. Software base enabled. Blah, 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 blah. Goals. Machine. Invert force feedback. No commutation. Quadrature encoder 2048. What would the commutation sensor be? Have I that's not the Z, right? The commutation sensor is, yeah, so that's magnetic sensors on the poles. You get much more detailed. But yeah, here's all of our stuff. These were hard. We fought for all these settings. The peak current limit is of course as much as it can handle. Coil resistance we had to measure very carefully, inductance, and then thermal time constant and the peak power limit and everything. Like all this stuff we fought very hard. The tuning was a very advanced thing too. On the other motors, we also did a little bit of that. The ones on the that we use for burn the subs. Well, that's going to be for the new burn the subs. That's going to be very complicated. But yeah, SimuCube, status sound notification, required software enable, fine. Torque control, homing is disabled, braking, yeah. Okay, now did that upload? Did we get that? Apply settings, yeah. Permanent settings have been changed since last drive. Last changes save. Lost on drive power off. Drive power off if not saved. Save it to the drive. You can reopen. I guess what we want to do is disconnect from the drive now, right? So disconnect from the drive. And then we want to go over here and we want to re-enable. Well, I need to unplug and then plug into the other one. Plug into the other one. And then disable USB configuration. We're back. Feels good. Only the wheel's moving in the opposite direction that it should. That's I'm not sitting behind the wheel. I'm in front of the wheel. That's hello? Uh-oh. The feedback feels correct, but the wheel is going in the opposite direction of what it should. It seems like it just like randomly decided the phases of the motor were opposite of what they were, even though I can't plug them in backwards. This ain't right. This is not driving. Can I reverse the direction of the wheel? Torque bandwidth, center frequency, profile name, steering range. I don't think this has the settings that I could do. Oh no. Hardware setup It's not in here. Advanced. Start everything from new. No. Language, password, reset force feedback, bolded effects. No. Sit on the desk and steer. Yeah. How do I? Okay. All right. So I guess we're going back into USB configuration mode. Click OK. Let everything load. I gotta set it. I gotta reverse it again. That was weird as hell. All right. Let me move this over to here. And we go back to Granity. And we unfuck what we just fucked. Connect. Please. Yes. Do it. So that would be in machine. Invert feedback direction. Feedback resolution. Quadrature 1. Yeah. Apply. Restart the drive. Save it to the drive. The software is cool. Granity, like we worked with some other stuff, not for the steering wheel project, but for other projects we were working with motor controlling stuff, and there were some more basic ones, like Trinamic had a pretty hardcore motor controller set of software and stuff. They even sent me, they're actually one of the very few companies that actually sent me like perky kind of cool stuff, right? So I was able to test. See, it's back to doing this. So we do need to invert it. Yeah, maybe there is something in the analog settings. Because it's like the encoder direction doesn't agree with the wheel direction. I don't know if there's a way to flip the encoder without desoldering stuff, which is a weird thing to do. All right, so we'll enable this again, and then I'll need to come back and look through this, because it's definitely an inverted feedback thing. And that was easy to fix in other softwares. But yeah, anyway, Trinamic, we were looking at their stuff, and they were pretty cool, man. They sent me stuff, and I was able to like test it and everything. But it was so much more hardcore than this. This software, first of all, it works. I didn't need weird drivers in order to get it functioning. But it also has, you know, I don't know, a little bit of presentation behind it so that we can actually, you know, we have tabs that describe the stuff that we're doing. All that good stuff. It's nice to have. Now there's got to be another setting in here somewhere. Mechanical brake, homing enabled, directional inputs on the homing, set point smoothing, nah. Status sound, electrical interfaces, SimuCube, software enabled, bidirectional, blah 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 blah. The machine is really like, here's the position feedback thing. That's it. Rotary, invert direction. Well, is that going to do it? Start the drive, save to the drive. Brand devices, go. I don't know if this is going to do it. That might fuck stuff up really bad. Right now, it just feels like it feels like I'm steering in mud. Which is actually kind of cool, but we're not gonna, no, we don't need to, we're not running the tests. Tests are for different stuff, but you can set all the stuff that it's doing, right? And you can see the status in the fault register. Voltage is good, braking is fine, etc., etc. Initialized. I don't think it's initialized yet because we're not plugged into the right USB. So all right, let's disconnect and see what happens. All right, wait for that. Enable or disable the Ioni. Ah, that did it. Reset the wheel center. That's not centered yet. Do it again. Now, of course, I have to do this. This is why I have this stuff in folders on the directory, because I'll have to do this when I set it up. Yeah, there we go. There's the end stop. I'll have to set it up again when I fully, you know, realize the system and plug it all in properly and stuff. But there we go. Look at that. Now, if I hit the buttons, yeah, look at that. The buttons are coming in. Now, the axes I have reversed, so I don't know if that's going to be a big issue or not. But they work. That works. Shifting works. Yep. So the full system is in effect, and now I'm going to be able to mount this thing below. It's going to be very annoying if I have to do that reversal thing again. If I have to do the reversal thing again. Okay. I hiccuped every time I tried to say that, and it like, no, the bleh noise is not, that's not the reaction. The reaction was just, it just stopped me in my tracks every time. Okay, so we have a functioning wheel, right? I think even the horn works. If I can get to the actually actuating the horn. Yeah, there it is. That's the horn. I need to finally engineer the centerpiece that'll block the big hole in the middle of this thing. Everybody wants me to put like a screen in it, which would be great and all, but I don't know how I'd communicate all the way out to a screen. I'd need another LIN bus packet, and that would slow things down even more. Oh no, I've lost my rubbly thing is no longer rubbly mounting in. I need it to squish. There we go. And I'm gonna have foam just sticking out the sides there. Oh, we tried, you know, we tried all kinds of things with 3D printing, not 3D printing, with scanning, trying to get the shape of the centerpiece of this wheel, trying to get that shape. That's not easy to do. I could dead reckon it, I guess. You know, we could just make a solid and I can mirror it, and then I can try to dead reckon where those features are, just so that we can kind of button this thing up a little bit, instead of just having, I mean, I like the BMW cover, it's fine, it's funny, but it probably needs something like a little flair, you know. Plus I can't use the horn, so we need something that actually links in to the airbag, like things. There's like things that it has to link onto, and then when you push it, you're pushing on this frame that has a bunch of springs on it. So, all right, the wheel works. I'm gonna end. I think I'm gonna end here because I got a lot of work to do tomorrow to fully, you know, realize a Thursday gaming stream. We're gonna do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm just gonna be playing My Summer Car. We're gonna have a good time. We'll hang out. I'll be over there at the desk. We'll have this whole system running. I will attach the control box underneath the pedals, and then I'll button that whole system up on Wednesday. And I need to sweep the floors and do all the boring shit that, you know, that goes along with having a shop/office instead of just an office. Other streamers get to have like an office where they hang out. They probably keep it clean, maybe. I don't know. I've seen Rob Oz's keyboard before, and it's a nightmare. But anyway, I will be back on Thursday, and on Thursday we're gonna get this thing going. We're gonna be racing around in a game with this stuff. We'll probably have to tune it a little bit, and I'll probably have to turn it down if we're gonna win that rally, which is what I want to do. I'm gonna win that rally. We're gonna get. I don't know if I'll have time to find better music to put in for the rally, but so far so good. We've done a lot of good with this system. I finally cracked that egg to be able to fake being a Bluetooth module and get it to be recognized by the system and take button inputs all the way in. We reverse engineered a bunch of car hardware in order to make it feel like a real car. The steering wheel had digitally addressable buttons on it via the LIN bus. We made a brute forcer that asked for every LIN bus address, and we got a reply that we then dissected and figured out that there were version numbers and stuff like that, but then also just ones and zeros that represented what buttons were hit. We created LIN bus accessories to work within that system and communicate everything back to our base station, where we have a microcontroller that not only fools the SimuCube into thinking that a wireless wheel's plugged in, but it also can physically hit the buttons or basically operate a potentiometer, which represents the positions of the pedals. So now we have a digital system that does all the functions that we need it to do. It's snappy enough. You know, I get pretty good feedback on this. You know, almost immediately as I hit this thing, it'll change values. They're meant to be hit with your feet, not with your hands, so it's a little harder for me to move these things around. But like, that's real snappy. That's a really good amount of feedback. The buttons, 99% of the buttons work. There's a little bit of lag. Ooh, and why did that hit a button all the way over there? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, every now and then it's like 2 buttons get hit. It's gonna be a little weird if I put my headlights on one. The press to talk still doesn't work. Most of the others do, though. And then, of course, the shifter works perfectly fine, and we did a bunch of hardware on the shifter in order to make it feel like you're actually snapping it into gear. It's a little loud, but it feels like shifting a car. Okay, so I will see you guys on Thursday. Until then, you will be able to catch me on Discord. So the link for the Discord is as follows. Here, let me go to a face cam here, so I'm not... I feel discombobulated when I go to this view. There we go. We're gonna see if I can get a Wednesday haircut too. That's something that I need to do. Otherwise I'm gonna have to wear a helmet. I'm gonna have to wear a helmet. His hair is starting to get in the way. I really hope I don't have to go in and reverse the direction of stuff again. If I do, I'm probably gonna have to. We'll have to come up with some system to like flip a switch to get us from one USB to the other. I don't want to put a hub inside of this thing, you know? Well, that's for another day. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for joining me today. This is kind of like a rare thing, and it's weird when we finish a project because it's done, right? Like all of a sudden the project is done and there's not much else to say about it. And so, you know, what do? We just move on to the next thing. And then, so it's like 90% of the time I'm struggling with a project. You only get that little 10% every now and then, which is when we finish a project and we get to do a victory lap. So this week's going to be a victory lap with the wheel. Wheel is, it's 99.999. I'm going to do the mounting and then it'll be done. Done for now until we want to add a feature to it. So we'll do a victory lap. We'll play around with it. And then I will see you guys for that on Thursday. Next week, we get some more projects. All right, take care, everybody.